A greeting from Jude. Jude, a servant of Jesus Christ and a brother of James, to those who are called, loved by God the Father, and kept in Jesus Christ, mercy, peace, and love be multiplied to you. God's judgment on the ungodly, beloved. Although I made every effort to write to you about the salvation we share, I felt it necessary to write and urge you to contend earnestly for the faith entrusted once for all to the saints. For certain men have crept in among you unnoticed, ungodly ones who were designated long ago for condemnation. They turn the grace of our God into a license for immorality, and they deny our only Master and Lord Jesus Christ. Although you are fully aware of this, I want to remind you that after Jesus had delivered his people out of the land of Egypt, he destroyed those who did not believe, and the angels who did not stay within their own domain but abandoned their proper dwelling. These he has kept in eternal chains under darkness, bound for judgment on that great day. And like man or Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities around them, who indulged in sexual immorality and pursued strange flesh, are on display as an example of those who sustain the punishment of eternal fire. Yet in the same way these dreamers defile their bodies, reject authority, and slander glorious beings. But even the archangel Michael, when he disputed with the devil over the body of Moses, did not presume to bring a slanderous charge against him, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." These men, however, slander what they do not understand, and like irrational animals they will be destroyed by the things they do instinctively. Woe to them! They have traveled the path of Cain. They have rushed for profit into the air of Balaam. They have perished in Korah's rebellion. These men are hidden reefs in your love feast, shamelessly feasting with you but shepherding only themselves. They are clouds without water, carried along by the wind, fruitless trees in autumn, twice dead after being uprooted. They are wild waves of the sea, foaming up their own shame, wandering stars for whom blackest darkness has been reserved forever. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, also prophesied about them. Behold, the Lord is coming with myriads of his holy ones, to execute judgment on everyone, and to convict all the ungodly of every ungodly act of wickedness, and every harsh word spoken against him by ungodly sinners. These men are discontented grumblers, following after their own lusts. Their mouths spew arrogance. They flatter others for their own advantage. I call to persevere, but you, beloved, remember what was foretold by the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ, when they said to you, "In the last times there will be scoffers who will follow after their own ungodly desires. These are the ones who cause divisions, who are worldly and devoid of the Spirit. But you, beloved, by building yourselves up in your most holy faith and praying in the Holy Spirit, keep yourselves in the love of God as you await the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ to bring you eternal life. And indeed have mercy on those who doubt, save others by snatching them from the fire, and to still others show mercy tempered with fear, hating even the clothing stained by the flesh. Doxology. Now to him who is able to keep you from stumbling, and to present you unblemished in his glorious presence with great joy, to the only God our Savior be glory, majesty, dominion, and authority through Jesus Christ our Lord, before all time and now and for all eternity. Amen.
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 Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. And no, you did not catch your boy singing this time. I made sure. Kept that mute button on. I did not traumatize anybody. Hopefully you all had a fantastic Friday. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday Night Lights. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. We got a great show planned for you today. And I have something I've never had before. Besides the fact I don't think I've ever worn my 1974 polo. I got a guest in the studio. He doesn't want to be on the camera. But I actually have a guest in my studio. That's crazy. So I gotta be on my best behavior tonight. So I'm going to try my very best. I'm going to do my best. Present Not Perfect is going to make sure I stay straight and narrow. So shout out to everybody in the best live chat on the internet. Thank y'all so much for tapping in. Good to see you, Giselle. How are you, love? And there we go. Tina's in the building. How are you, love? There we go. My mods are in the house. Y'all tell my mods what's up. There she is. There's my favorite one is. Grace and peace to you too, Amethyst. Good to see you, love bug. Good to see you. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss you? If I missed you, please don't hold it against me. Don't hold it against your boy. I think I got everybody. Shout out to everybody. There we go. What's going on? The Eclipsed Truth. That's wild. I have Andrew on TV and went to look to see what you were doing. And he's talking about the exact same thing at the exact same time. What's their evidence? Shout out. I love it. Yeah, Andrew is he's definitely taking full advantage of this. And hey, shout out to Andrew Wilson for sure. Hey, I see you over there. What's going on? The Laura Show. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Brandon up in here. Good to see you. There we go. Kelly in the building. How are you? All right, y'all. Okay. You all have emailed management. Y'all have text message management. You've sent smoke signals up to management. We heard you. We're going to talk about Carmelo Anthony and Lindsey Clancy. Usually on Friday Night Lights, we're just having fun, talking about nothing, having fun talking about body cam. We'll save body cam for tomorrow for Saturday Night Live. But we are going to talk about this because it is pretty interesting, and there's a lot of things I want to hear and get your opinions on. So shout out to you all. Management has heard you. Absolutely. Management has heard you. So shout out to y'all. Thank you so much to everyone who's tapped in on this evening. And what I'm going to do very quickly is make sure. Wait, what happened over here? Shout out to the moderators. I'm sorry. We have the best live chat and y'all have the best moderators on the planet. I'm sorry. I saw somebody earlier today saying that their live stream was the best live chat. And I was like, okay, I mean, if that's what you need to make yourself feel better, keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Feel better. Absolutely. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and shift gears, everybody. Let's talk about it. This Carmelo Anthony shenanigans. I want to do something, and I don't do this often, but didn't I tell y'all there was a good reason why Carmelo Anthony did not take the stand? I told y'all all that gentleman's agreement stuff and all that legalese. I didn't know all that proper terminology, but I told you there was a reason why Carmelo Anthony did not get on that witness stand. And I told y'all, I bet you it was something about those school records. I knew it. I'm gonna have to go back and look in the crates. But I know I said there's something about them school records. They don't want y'all to hear that. That's why that trial went super fast. That's why it seemed to be very streamlined and focused on only what happened under that tent, which to me, I don't think the other stuff is germane. I don't think we even needed to know the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight, but we're going to talk about it since y'all done did it. Now we got it. But I don't think we needed that in order to say that this man did the wrong thing by stabbing Austin Metcalf and killing him. That was it. But now, now you want to talk about that? Then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So we are going to talk about it tonight. This is a sad state of affairs, in my opinion, because we are watching grown adults argue, fight, clamor, scrape for somebody who is guilty, not for somebody who's innocent, not for even somebody who has a specter, possibly, maybe could be innocent. The dude stabbed him. And we're going to talk about Clancy too. The woman killed her children. There's no other way around that. So if you don't mind, we're about to jump into this because we got a lot of clips. We got a lot of segments to talk about. So let's go ahead with no further ado. What did you say? What did Lauren say? And she said, what? She said, OMG, the smoke signals. LOL, yes, sir. Can't help it. You're the bestie. LOL, we need your thoughts. Shout out. And I have to admit, Laura, you were the one I was thinking about. I was like, Laura, the email management, I got to make sure I respect her. And thank you so much for supporting the stream. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Let's go with no further ado. Let's pull this thing in. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how we like to do it. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
That were withheld during Carmelo Anthony's murder trial are now coming out. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
I'm Steve Eagers, 9 o'clock. Anthony is seeking a new trial for the 2025 stabbing death of Austin Metcalf. Anthony's attorneys argue the trial judge violated his rights by holding off-the-record conferences. And today, a chunk of the hearing focused on a so-called gentleman's agreement that governed how the trial played out. Fox 4's Amelia Jones has the latest on today's hearing. Amelia.
Heather, Steve, a lot to digest in court today, and we've only heard from 2 out of the 12 witnesses defense attorney Russell Wilson plans to call. Today's testimony focused on allegations of a shadow docket, off-the-record proceedings, and a disputed gentleman's agreement between the prosecution and defense. Evidence the jury never heard during Carmelo Anthony's murder trial was revealed in court Thursday as his new defense team argues for a new trial. The 19-year-old was convicted of murder in June and sentenced to 35 years in prison for fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet in April 2025. His new defense team is arguing the way the trial was conducted violated Anthony's constitutional rights, and they're asking for a new trial. Russell Wilson, Anthony's new defense attorney, argued Anthony was not present during pretrial hearings, which is his right.
The main factor to it is everyone has a right to a public trial and to have trial that the public can watch as a constitutional right, just to make sure that things are done fairly and that people that are concerned about their community can hear what's going on.
Anthony's former trial defense attorney, Mike Howard, took the stand. Much of Thursday's testimony centered on a gentleman's agreement between the prosecution and defense to keep damaging character evidence about both Anthony and his victim out of the courtroom. Part of the evidence shared in court Thursday suggested aggressive and racist behavior from Austin Metcalf, with Anthony's attorney saying they could have brought up school records if it weren't for the agreement. It also revealed additional damaging information about Anthony, including a reported obsession with knives and a girlfriend who previously reported stalking behavior. Again, this evidence was not heard by the jury, as the prosecution and defense argued to, quote, not open the door and keep the trial limited to the evidence, quote, under the tent, meaning the day of the track meet. But there was a disagreement between both sides over whether this included potential testimony from Anthony himself. It led to a heated argument and yelling between the attorneys. And after this, Anthony decided not to testify, a decision Howard believes crippled his self-defense claim. It was acknowledged in court today that a verbal agreement like this takes a lot of trust between attorneys, and it is not typical in trials. However, it was done in part because of the immense attention nationally and internationally that this case has gained, and in an effort to make sure that potential jurors weren't influenced by outside information before hearing evidence. Court will resume tomorrow at 9 a.m. Toby Shook, Anthony's other trial defense attorney, is expected to take the stand. Heather, Steve.
All right, Amelia, a lot of information today, and we'll look forward to tomorrow. Thank you very much.
All right, and to follow tomorrow's developments, all you have to do is scan the QR.
We're going to look at some of this. We'll look at this. I want to make sure if you're just tapping in, you're like, okay, what are we talking about? Jay Witt, where do you land with this? I just want you to please make sure you write this down. My email is jwitt@jwitt.com. This is evil. This is evil. There you go. I'm going to say it because somebody else is not going to say it. My name is Jason, and I'm going to say it. It is evil to keep pretending like Carmelo Anthony did not kill that young man. The idea, the notion to keep pretending and making up these false fan fictions to make yourself feel better, to drag this out even more, for what? He's going to go to jail now for 100,000 years. And I'm going to show you something. And the Bible actually does not support your thought process. So I know you're upset. I know you're mad. I know you're mad. Scratch your butt and get glad. But you're going to still be wrong. Watch this. Proverbs 12, and 10. Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beast, but the mercy of the wicked is cruel. These people think they're being merciful by giving Carmelo Anthony 9, 10, 27 and a half bites at the apple. But guess what? They're being cruel and they're dragging this out. Carmelo Anthony is where he needs to be. Where he is today is where he'll need to be in the same date, 2050. That's where he needs to be. He's going to be where he needs to be. He needs to be in jail. He killed that young man in cold, calculated, cold-blooded. That's it. I know you don't like it. And I got friends who I had to stop messing with them. I had to stop rocking with y'all because you don't even make sense anymore. In the year of our Lord 2027, you sound crazy. So again, I'm going to say that because I want email management. Please email management that you don't like what I said, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to say right then. I don't care. That young man needs to be in jail. His mama and daddy let him down. Prove me wrong, jwitt@jwitt.com. So this is just cruel. This is cruel to do this to the Metcalf family. This is cruel to do this to the Collin County community. This is cruel to do to black people who don't believe in killing white folk. You know what? I'm against, y'all know, y'all have heard your boy. I've told y'all, I support the criminal justice system by keeping my highly melanated hind parts out of the criminal justice system. That's how I support the criminal justice system. I don't support persons who do crimes and get put in the criminal justice system. Good on you, homie. God bless you, God keep you. I ain't messing with you. I got family members to this day. They will tell you, as sure as my name is Jason, they have been in jail and Jason will not come get them because I don't spend money. I don't work hard. The best live chat on the internet, the most electrifying comment section on the planet. I don't work here on this podcast to take money to the jail. I don't do it. So if you go to jail, the last person you better call is Jason, because you stuck. You might as well go ahead and call Jesus, because skip over Jason, because Jesus is on the main line. Jason is not there. That's it. All right. I'm sorry. Whoever told me to watch this, I don't know. I'm going to have to fight you because I'm mad now. I'm mad. My blood pressure up. I'm going to have to take a commercial break or something because this is just dumb. The dude is where he's supposed to be. We can sound as eloquent as we want to. Oh, the judge had a side meeting. Oh, they had a gentleman's agreement. Did he kill that boy? I'll just wait. All right, let's go.
A few hours from now, Carmelo Anthony's attorneys will be back in court fighting for a new trial.
Anthony was convicted of murdering Austin Metcalf at a Frisco track meet last year. Our Janelle Fort is live for us at the Collin County Courthouse, where a new judge is taking over the appeal. Janelle?
Well, Dee and Matt, there is no doubt that yesterday was a win for Carmelo Anthony's new legal team, but today comes the much harder part. They now have to convince that new judge that there were problems serious enough during that first trial that it warrants him having a new trial. So here to contextualize all of this for us this morning is our legal expert, Keith Harris. Keith, thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
Good morning.
I know you were in the courtroom when they made that verdict back in June. You were also in the courtroom yesterday. Can you kind of walk us through what we can expect today?
So today, my understanding is that there will be witnesses to testify as to why there should be a motion for a new trial or why the motion for a new trial should be granted. There were talk in the motion for a new trial about things that were denied or things that didn't happen. And I think that today there will be witnesses that testify just to give more context and a better record of that so that the judge can consider if those matters warrant a new trial. So that's my understanding of what will be expected today, is just hearing from witnesses.
And I think the big question for a lot of folks at home is what is the likelihood of this actually happening, of him actually getting a new trial? In your professional opinion, what would you say?
I don't know. I think that a lot.
That's called hedging your bets. This young man did not get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and shave his head to put on that nice suit and tie to come up here and talk about, I don't know. He knows good and well there is no chance in Hades that Carmelo Anthony's going to get a new trial and definitely not get to walk. He might, if he gets a new trial, he's going to get 100,000 years because they're going to probably throw the whole book at him and then some. And that, I mean, that's just the reality of the matter. Like there's no good reason. That's the thing that doesn't make sense. There is no good reason for a retrial. You got these technicalities and whatnot like that. What's going to end up happening, and I'm just going to put it out there, this judge is going to say, nope, there's nothing to see here. Let's keep it moving. They're going to take it to the appellate court. They're going to do the exact same thing, and they're going to try to take it to the Supreme Court. And again, as I told you before, the mercy of the wicked is cruel. They think they're being merciful, and they're dragging this family. They're dragging the Metcalfs, the whole community, through this foolishness for 2-3 years. Because, I mean, most of us have kind of forgotten about Carmelo Anthony's name. Let's just tell the truth, shame the devil. Let's keep it going. This has nothing to do with a new trial. This is about procedure and sentence. Okay, I'm not certain what you mean. Oh, I know that. I know that. That I know. Every murder trial does, in fact, conviction does go through appeal. Totally understand that. Absolutely. The problem is, it's not going to change anything. So what is the purpose of that? Okay, let's go.
A lot is still left to be heard and the record to be made known better with the testimony of these witnesses. So, I mean, overall, if we look at historically on motions for new trials, they're not granted a lot. So, I mean, it's a high hurdle for the defense and a high hurdle that they're going to have to make. But we'll see. I mean, with the testimony of these witnesses today, if that gives more context to things for a judge to make a determination.
A lot of people were surprised with what happened yesterday. Were you surprised?
I wasn't, and the reason why I wasn't is because I think even the judge said that although he felt that Judge Roach would be impartial if matters came before him, that the law required him to recuse him. And I think when you look at recusal, the reason for that is so that the public, if there's any kind of doubt that the public would have as to whether or not the appearance of impartiality based off of whether it's the interview or based off of conduct, then law requires that the judge recuse the sitting judge. And I think that that's what happened yesterday.
Thank you so much for providing that perspective for us. Keith, we'll be in the courtroom today as well as our reporters, and we'll keep you updated as new developments come in. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, Chanel. This has been a story that has been making national headlines for months.
I think something else that's kind of missing is Judge Roach was already he's on a retirement track. He only had a few more months. This was his last trial. So even with the recusal, I'm wondering, and I could be wrong, I'm wondering how much of the recusal is really just, let's use the word recusal and not say that you're retired. So that way we can get the quote unquote win for Carmelo Anthony so they can feel like they're getting a W. You're going to retire because he's not going to do anything else. And we can keep this game moving and we can go ahead and say, there's nothing here, nothing to see here. We're not going to appeal it. And then they can go and take it to the appellate court. I'm wondering how much of that happened. Because, I mean, Roach said that was his last case. He only had like six months. And so I think it was the end of the year. So why would he want to take this case back on? Now, of course, it was his trial. He can look at it and say he knows he did everything right. But why would he say something different? Because I do want to talk about that part too. It's going to come up in a moment. Yeah, he said in an interview he was done. Okay, so let me bring this in. Shout out. Now, all these videos that we're going to be looking at, of course, are linked down in the description. I worked hard at making sure I did that, so shout out to that. We're going to go over here and talk to our nephew up there in Brooklyn. We're looking at Nate the lawyer. Shout out to Nate the lawyer. Please make sure that you all go over there and check out his channel. He's doing some great work. So we want to talk a little bit more about the recusal of Judge Roach. There's some things and some nuances that we might not have known, so I want to make sure we get those. So let's go.
At the center of that high school track meet stabbing trial has been removed as the convicted teen is appealing his conviction.
The judge who presided over the Carmelo Anthony case in Collin County was recused today.
We begin with breaking news in McKinney as Carmelo Anthony works to appeal his conviction and seeks a new trial. Within the past hour, the judge who presided over the murder trial has been removed from the case.
All right, so let's talk about the Carmelo Anthony trial, what's going on, and why this judge was removed from the case.
Nate got paid a bill.
Every time you shop, check your email, create an account, somebody is trying to track you, scam you, or collect your personal information. That's why today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Now, the first thing you need to know is Surfshark is more than just some VPN.
Real quick, just in case, I got some new people who have tapped in. When I'm using a content creator's video and they've worked hard to get an endorsement deal like this, it's the only right thing to do is to let the video play. So shout out to Nate. He's got an endorsement. I don't want to take from that. So no, I'm not going to skip over it. I'm not going to mute it. Definitely check out, maybe you need to check out Surfshark. I don't know. Let's go.
This is an email scam checker that helps you identify suspicious emails and phishing attempts. It's an ad blocker that blocks ads and trackers, webcam protection that stops unauthorized apps from accessing your cameras, and alternative ID that lets you mask your real name and contact information on websites you don't trust. Oh yeah, and just in case you're wondering, one subscription works on an unlimited number of devices, and you get the 24/7 customer support. Oh yeah, and just for you guys who are interested in the VPN, they got servers in over 100 countries, the widest country coverage offered by any VPN. All right, so now you know what it is. How do you get it? Well, go to surfshark.com/Nate the Lawyer and use my code Nate the Lawyer at checkout, and that will get you 4 extra months of Surfshark. Also, this is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free. Again, links in the description, pin comment, use promo code Nate the Lawyer to get those 4 free extra months. Now, let's get back to the video. All right, just a quick recap. Carmelo Anthony is the black teen who was 17 years old, brought a knife to a track meet, went under someone else's tent. When he was asked to leave, words were exchanged, and he pulled out a knife and stabbed Austin Metcalf, killing him at the scene. Carmelo Anthony went to trial, and he claimed that he was acting in self-defense. The jury rejected that, and he was convicted of murder.
Tonight, emotions boiling over outside the courthouse. Protesters in each other's faces, some openly weeping.
Yeah, I'm going to say something that's going to make people mad. The fact that people are out here crashing out over Carmelo Anthony and he actually killed somebody, but y'all are not crashing out over your own children and are not reading on grade level, please miss me with all of the performative foolishness. Please miss me with it. Please. These people out here weeping and wailing, gnashing their teeth over Carmelo Anthony, and they don't know that their daughter has an OF account. Please stop it. Stop it. The performative pearl clutching is not cool. Stop theater kidding it. Stop it. Okay, let's go.
And for others, relief that justice was served.
You think this is justice for Austin?
I believe so.
As a Texas jury finds 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony guilty of murder for stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet last year.
So for that conviction, Carmelo Anthony got 35 years in prison, and that part of the legal process was over, the trial and sentencing. So now after sentencing, Carmelo Anthony's attorneys filed a motion for a new trial. Now that motion had to go in front of Judge John Roach. Now the reason why this happens is because Texas law wants to give the trial court one final opportunity to correct any serious legal errors before the appeals court reviews it. Now this allows the trial judge to critically look at what happened at the trial, and if he feels something is wrong, he could order a new trial at that time. Now, if the trial judge denies that motion for a new trial, then it goes to the appellate court. So now, this is where things get interesting. See, Judge Roach did a TV interview right after he sentenced Carmelo Anthony. Now, the Carmelo Anthony team is pointing to this interview, claiming that Judge Roach was biased against Carmelo Anthony. Their argument is simple. This judge, Judge Roach, has to rule on a motion whether Carmelo Anthony deserves a new trial because there were errors in the original trial. But, and there's a big but here, during this interview, the judge has already made up his mind on whether the trial was run perfectly or whether there were errors in the trial. And essentially, because
for the life of me, I do not understand this. Why would the judge say, yeah, you know, I messed that up. I bungled that up. The jury got that wrong. Why would the judge say that? Now, maybe the judge doesn't need to say that everything is perfect. Maybe he shouldn't have did the interview. I could probably land there. But why would he say that he didn't do it right? Why would he say that it wasn't perfect? What is he supposed to say? Hey, I sat on one of the most polarizing trials of this year, maybe this century, this decade, definitely. And you know what? I might have messed something up. Is that what he's supposed to say? I don't get it. Like, what was he supposed to say? And again, maybe we can come back and say, well, he shouldn't have done the interview. I will accept that. He should not have done the interview, but let's just say the interview wasn't the problem. What was he supposed to say again? I don't understand what he's supposed to say. Okay, let's go.
This judge has already made up his mind. He should be removed for somebody who's more impartial. Here are some examples. They claim the trial judge has already determined the trial was perfect because when asked, did the jury get it right? This was his answer.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts that happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict. And so that's the process. And whatever they say, they get it right.
Well, Carmelo Anthony says this shows clear prejudice to their upcoming motion because he's already determined the jury got it right. And the motion is clear. It says a judge who has publicly proclaimed the verdict correct cannot be expected to impartially seeking to set aside that verdict. Carmelo Anthony's attorneys also say in that interview.
Okay, so given the fact that this happens all the time, convictions are brought back to their judge all the time. And you heard the gentleman earlier say that this is a very high hurdle and that it doesn't happen often that they get overturned. So are those judges wrong too? What did they do? Again, maybe it's the interview part. But why would you think that you were wrong? Like, I don't get, if you know that you did everything right, you dotted all your I's, you crossed all your T's, why would you think that you did something wrong? That's the only part that doesn't make sense to me. Okay.
He's already declared that everything he did when it comes to jury selection was appropriate. And since that's the case, any motions that the defense attorneys bring are essentially moot because the judge has already made his determination that everything he did during that time.
There's going to be a lot of scrutiny over voir dire. And you denied the defense and the dismissing of 3 jurors who at least identified as African American on their bioforms. What did you make of that moment?
Well, that's not exactly how it works. The defense didn't dismiss them.
I'm sorry, the defense raised an objection.
They raised an objection, yeah. They have raised an objection. Like I told you before, as long as I follow the law, I sleep well at night. And I'm telling you, I follow the law in that case.
So Carmelo Anthony's team is saying, look, we're asking him to review that because we think it's wrong. And he's already telling people he's done everything right. He is not impartial to go over our motion for a new trial. Now, this judge...
Okay, but wait, hold on. So he believes that everything he did was right. If somebody brings something to him, are we to say that if you brought evidence to him that shows, no, you were wrong here, here's this fact, you violated this statute or this law, whatever like that, are we to believe that he would not look at that and say, you're right? But even in that, even if he were wrong in one little fine detail, or even a medium-sized detail, or a large detail for crying out loud, does that change the fact that Carmelo Anthony was found guilty? How does that overturn it, though? That's the part. Somebody said this is a waste of time and a waste of money, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, what are we doing here?
Far in this interview to claim that Carmelo Anthony committed a crime. Now, why is this bad? Because this judge is supposed to be impartial. But in the interview you just saw, he's clearly already made up his mind. And then the judge tells us how he really feels, that Carmelo Anthony committed a crime.
He seems like a nice young man who committed a crime, and he understands today more than any day before today the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
But you do realize that the jury did find him guilty at this point. So I don't even know, again, maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe I'm slow, but I don't get, like, what did he do wrong? He had been found guilty of committing the crime. He was sentenced for committing the crime. He is not at home. He is in the Gray Bar Hotel because he committed a crime. So what did Judge Roach say that was not correct? Was he like, he's out at the house? He's over at Harold's Chicken and Waffles? What was he supposed to say? Like, he was found guilty. And maybe that's it. Maybe the judge shouldn't have done this interview. That's all I can conclude. Because I don't think he's saying things that are primarily wrong, in my opinion, based upon my information and belief. And I just hit the button, messed it up.
The defense attorney's beef seems to be pretty clear. This judge has already declared the trial ran perfectly, the jury got it right, and that my client is a criminal.
Is that
Judge
him?
Roach was asked, did Carmelo Anthony receive a fair trial? Now, he is supposed to say he can't answer that question yet because the proceedings are still going on. And if he says, yeah, he received a fair trial, then you can't rule on any motion where Carmelo Anthony says, I don't believe I had a fair trial, right? Because it makes the judge seem like he's already made the determination. But this judge in this interview says, yeah, I believe he's got a fair trial, essentially making it seem like he is not an impartial judge.
I hope that the Metcalfs think that their son got a fair trial in this courtroom, as do I hope that the Anthony family thinks their son got a fair trial in this courtroom. I certainly think he did.
So let's just keep this simple. The Carmelo Anthony defense team is saying that Judge Roach, as you just heard, publicly has said the verdict was correct. Anthony committed a crime, the trial was fair, and his disputed rulings were legally correct. He was then expected to be impartial to decide making a ruling that the verdict or trial was legally defective. So Carmelo Anthony's legal team filed a motion to recuse the judge who had made these statements that were problematic. And remember, they didn't actually have to show the judge was biased, but that there was an appearance of impropriety, that it's possible that a reasonable person could listen to the statements the judge made and believe he already made up his mind. And if that was true, if a reasonable person can look at those statements and say, this judge already made up his mind, then the proper thing would be is to recuse that judge and have another judge who is a little bit more detached from the case look at the evidence. So with that standard in mind, the Carmelo Anthony trial judge was removed from hearing the motion on whether Carmelo Anthony deserved a new trial.
A new judge will now handle Carmelo Anthony's post-conviction hearings after the judge who presided over his murder trial was recused.
Judge Sid Harrell ruled today that the judge who presided over the murder trial is recused. The judge said today's decision was not based on judicial violations or canons. He did not find any, but based on a very simple test, whether an outside person could think Judge Roach could be fair and impartial. Now, the new defense team led by Russell Wilson played a video interview WFAA did with Judge Roach days after the sentencing. Judge Roach said repeatedly that he, quote, followed the law.
Now, no matter what you hear in the news media, what does this really mean? What does this judge being removed from this case actually mean? Well, number one, no one accused the judge of actually being biased in the trial. They were very careful not to do that. Here is one of Carmelo Anthony's attorneys explaining it.
He didn't want to accuse the judge of any formal canon violations, which is a whole separate matter. But concerning the motion for a new trial, he's no longer qualified.
So just so we understand what actually happened, the judge who oversaw the trial, the next move was he was supposed to review his trial to make sure everything was good. But he made some statements that made it seem like he could not be impartial in reviewing his own procedures. So they removed him from the case and added a new judge to go over the original trial judge's work to make sure he had done everything he needed to do. Essentially, it's the second judge who's checking the first judge's work. So the next steps are both sides are going to make arguments in front of this judge. This judge is then going to review the trial and see if the first judge or if the procedures in the first case were bad enough to overturn that and order a new trial for Carmelo Anthony. If this new judge says, no, you know what, there were issues with the original trial, but we're going to let that conviction stand, then Carmelo Anthony and his team can go up to the appeals court and plead their case there. All right, so the last question I'm going to answer is this a win for Carmelo Anthony? And for that, I'm going to say yes and no. Okay, first let's start with the yes side. The reason why this is a win for Carmelo Anthony's case is because they hated this judge. They wanted to get this judge removed all the way from the beginning, and now that happened. And it's not easy to get a judge removed, but they were successful in doing that. And let's not pretend this gives them a fantastic PR win. The fact that the judge was removed because he had made these statements that seemed to suggest that he was biased toward one side is going to be a great talking point on all of the talk shows. Now, I told you why people are saying, yes, this is a win for Carmelo Anthony, but I'll tell you why this is really a no if you think about it from the procedural point. At this time, Carmelo Anthony is still a convicted felon facing 35 years in prison. And getting a trial judge to overturn a conviction is going to be extremely hard. But extremely hard doesn't mean it's impossible. So at the end of the day, essentially you've changed the referee, but you still have to play the game. So those are the facts. Let me know in the comment section how you feel. Should this judge have been recused? Do you think it's a judge's fault because he did this interview? Or do you think this is much to do about nothing? Well, we'll see how it goes. And if Carmelo Anthony gets a new trial, we'll cover that too, because I think the results are going to be the same if you got to run this show again. But with that being said, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Tell me where I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. My name is Nate the Lawyer. I'm out.
Shout out to Nate the Lawyer. Shout out to Nephew Nate. Y'all make sure you go over there. Thank you so much to the moderators for dropping Nate the Lawyer's link in the description. It's also down in the description. I'm in the chat, and it's also down in the description of this video. So please go check him out. Let him know we appreciate what he's doing. I don't get it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see what is the benefit of dragging this out and pretending, because this is something I've noticed with all the videos we're gonna watch today. There is this overwhelming desire to pretend like reality is not reality. Like truth is not truth. Like up is not up and down is not down. We're literally buying into a narrative and a false claim that we can't determine what reality is. Carmelo Anthony killed that young man. That's it. The young lady we're about to watch her video in a moment, the Lindsay Clancy, she killed her children. Like all this other foolishness, all this other shenanigans, she murdered her children. Like, let's stop. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And then I think, a perfect example would be like the WNBA. What are you doing? What are you doing? And somehow or another, somebody's going to have to just stand up and say that the emperor has no clothes. Somebody's got to say it. It don't need to be a child to say it and everybody else being embarrassed. It can be an adult that just says, the emperor has no clothes. Like, what are we doing? And now we're going to watch Nate. We'll tap Nate the Lawyer again, because this is his video from today, like actually a couple hours ago, with more information about Carmelo Anthony. And like I said, they really don't want this. This is not what they want. Now that we can see the text messages, and see, the bad thing is possible jurors, if this were to get appealed to another trial, possible jurors are reading these text messages. Possible jurors are hearing about his school record. Possible jurors are hearing about him stalking a young lady and talking about inserting a weapon into somebody and licking the blood off. What the heck? I'm a whole grown man. I ain't even said some of that kind of dumb stuff. What's wrong with you? That dude, he gonna be up under the jail. They're gonna be like, dude, we had you on the second floor of the Gray Bar Hotel. We got to put you in the sub-basement. What's wrong with you? And y'all sitting out here caping and acting ridiculous like you are doing something right. And again, the mercy of the wicked is cruel. So let's bring this back in. Shout out to Nate the Lawyer, my nephew. All right, let's go. I don't know why he's looking like Jimmy John Thug. Shout out to Nate the Lawyer. He's a thug today. He's a thug. All right, y'all know what we like to do. Green hearts in the chat where you can hear.
The Carmelo Anthony text messages are insane. Just look at some of these examples.
Prosecutors say Anthony repeatedly threatened to murder his girlfriend in text messages. Some of them saying, "How many bullets you want coming out of your chest?" and "I'm going to get you," expletive. He also threatened her with a knife in one message and told her in another, "When I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade."
So he was what, 17? How old? Okay, that was October 10th, 2024. So he's 19 now. So he was 17 years old talking about stabbing somebody and licking their blood off of the knife. What are we talking about here, people? So you nasty. You nasty. You nasty. You just nasty. You just nasty. I got a new one for you. Boy, you nasty. I just want to let you know, you nasty. And you know what we say about that? I don't know where it is. Dang it.
It's an evil world we live in.
Let's go.
He's right, you know.
Let's go.
There are also text messages where he admits on at least 2 occasions to punching girls in the face. In a text conversation with a friend in 2023, prosecutors have messages from Anthony where he wrote, "I'm going to shoot the school up tomorrow." In 2024.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get him another trial. He needs another trial. Absolutely. He needs another trial to figure out what subfloor they're going to put him in in the Gray Bar Hotel? Is he going to be in the level 5, or are we going all the way to level 9? Like, where? That's the only question y'all need to be asking. That's it. And this, I told y'all. I'm going to try not to break my arm, patting myself on the back, but I told y'all there was something with his school records that they did not want out. Now we know what it is. And this, I didn't have a clue it was this bad.
Prosecutors say Anthony even attempted to assault a teacher.
You gotta see this to believe it.
Shout out to the teachers.
All right, people, today we are back talking about the Carmelo Anthony case, and it has some crazy, and I mean insane developments you will not want to miss. All right, for those of you who don't know, Carmelo Anthony is a 17-year-old who went to a track meet in Texas, pulled out a knife, and stabbed another kid after he was asked to leave that kid's tent. The other kid's name was Austin Metcalf. It became a whole racially charged thing. And eventually he went to trial and was convicted of murder and is doing 35 years in prison.
Let me interrupt you. The verdict is in. It is 35 years is the sentence, not under passion. 35-year sentence for Carmelo Anthony, eligible for...
And I want y'all to find every last one of these ne'er-do-wells when he gets 100,000 years and gets put on the the negative 19th floor of the Gray Bar Hotel. I want to make sure they're looking just like this. You big dummies. Y'all sitting here caping for somebody who killed somebody. That's the reason nobody takes us seriously. That's the reason why people do not take black people seriously. Because we will sit here and crash out over a criminal, somebody who's killed somebody, but you won't take yourself to the PTA meeting. But you won't sit down and read with little Johnny, little Sally, little Ray Ray, or little Tyrone over the weekend. You won't do that, but you'll crash out over Carmelo Anthony. My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com. I don't care.
Parole
That's why I don't
after
take us seriously.
serving half of that time.
Now, this became a huge, ridiculous issue about race because Carmelo Anthony happened to be black, the person he stabbed was white, and it
Nate,
became
them glasses are distracting
this whole
me.
race
Why them
issue.
glasses so cool? Y'all let Nate know them glasses are so cool. Why are you so cool, Nate? Why are you so cool, man?
Which was ridiculous. So where are we at now? Well, Carmelo Anthony asked that the original judge, the trial judge, be removed because they said that he had some biases against Carmelo Anthony that he had expressed during an interview. Another judge agreed with that, so Carmelo Anthony's original judge was removed, and now a new judge is looking over the case to determine if Carmelo Anthony should be granted a new trial.
Where the judge at the center of that high school track meet stabbing trial has been removed as the convicted teen is appealing his conviction.
Okay, so now this is where things get interesting. See, Carmelo Anthony's attorneys and the prosecution had what's known as a gentleman's agreement. And the agreement was simple. No past bad acts about Carmelo Anthony or the victim, Austin Metcalf, could be brought up during the trial because it would just muddy everything up. But that limitation works both ways. Where now you couldn't put, let's say, Carmelo Anthony up as this good kid if he's been doing all of this other crazy negative stuff in the past. And that was the same for the prosecution. If you knew Austin Metcalf had all these issues in the past, you couldn't make him out to be some saint. You just had to kind of just leave it alone. Now, Texas Rules of Evidence already deals with this issue. Here is Rule 404 from the state of Texas. We're going to look at Rule A3, exceptions for the victim. In a criminal case, subject to the limitations of Rule 412, a defendant may offer evidence of the victim's pertinent trait. If you wanted to show that the victim was someone who provoked people all the time, then that would be a pertinent trait that the defendant can show to say, hey, look, I was defending myself because this guy has this reputation. But in reverse, the prosecutors can offer evidence to rebut it about the defendant. So it's a double-edged sword. The defendant opens the door, but the prosecutor can say, well, hold on, you got your own issues. And let's go to B. In a homicide case, the prosecutor may offer evidence of the victim's trait of peacefulness to rebut evidence of the victim that the victim was the first aggressor. All right, so how does this work practically? Well, it's really all up to the defense. If the defense wants to bring up the fact that the victim was aggressive, they're opening the door that the prosecutor can bring up the fact that the defendant was an aggressor. That's essentially how it works. And they can bring up their past acts to prove that. Now everybody knows. They should have left it good alone. They should have said, you know what, he's going to be in here for 17 years. Let's try to make this the easiest 17 possible. But now y'all done put it back in here. That rascal going to be in there for 100 years. He out here talking about wanting to fight people. And now his school records going to come up into the chat. Yeah, y'all going to be out of control. You're going to be on the outside looking in a hot minute. Well, actually, he's going to be the inside looking out because he's going to be in the Great Bar Hotel. No, this is not good. That's what y'all get, y'all little greedy rascals. If you have a defendant who has a lot of bad past acts, and you've got a victim with a whole bunch of bad past acts, generally they'll say, well, nobody brings up anything. And that's what happened in this case. Now, this is Carmelo Anthony's new legal team, and they are challenging this gentleman's agreement. They're saying that their client was unable to testify because if he did, the prosecutor said that they would use his past bad acts against him when he testified.
That's what the gentleman's agreement
they're saying
was.
that essentially violated the agreement because the prosecutor said they weren't able to do that. They shouldn't do that.
Able to do it then.
And now they want a new trial. But that's one reason out of many they want.
But see, you agreed. His lawyer agreed to a gentleman's agreement, which maybe that's not the right thing. Maybe they shouldn't do that. Okay, fine. But he agreed to it. And that doesn't mean that you automatically get another trial, a redo. That's just crazy work. The mercy of the wicked is cruel.
The new trial. So they went to court, and while they were in court, we get to learn about this past bad acts that both sides were trying to hide. The prosecution didn't want the public to see Austin Metcalf's prior bad acts, the stuff that he was doing. And the defense didn't want the public to see Carmelo Anthony's little bad acts, the stuff that he had done. So because Carmelo Anthony's team is asking for a new trial, these things had to become public. So they did. Now, we're going to watch a news report who are going to go over both the bad acts of Austin Metcalf and the bad acts of Carmelo Anthony and the things that they've done in the past. And I'm going to say, it is pretty insane. It's like Carmelo Anthony stuff is insane. Austin Metcalf stuff is pretty bad too. But Carmelo Anthony stuff is like next level stuff. Now, before we get into the video, here's a quick message from this video sponsor, ZocDoc. Okay, raise your hand if you've been putting off doctor's appointments, dental cleanings, annual checkups, eye exam. Yeah, my hands raised too. When something feels off, I'll Google it. Then I'll tell myself it's probably fine. That's why I present to you ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love. We're talking about more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or one of the 200-plus specialties, you can search by specialty or symptom and build a care team that's right for you. Want to see your doctor in person? Great. Prefer a video visit? You can do that too. You can read thousands of verified patient reviews, see real-time availability, and book instantly. No phone tag, no waiting around. Appointments through ZocDoc happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours, and you can even score same-day appointments. Now, I use ZocDoc, and so should you. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Nate the Lawyer to find and instantly book a doctor that you would love today. That's ZocDoc.com/Nate the Lawyer. Link is in the description and the pinned comment.
Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this message.
All right, so here we're going to start with Austin Metcalf's background report. Now remember, this wasn't allowed in because the defense attorney was like, we don't want our guys' bad stuff to come in, so we're not going to talk about your guys' bad stuff. So let's start with the victim. These are the bad and troubling things that were in Austin Metcalf's past that wasn't presented to the jury.
About Austin Metcalf's background report that was never presented to the jury. CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented.
You know the race baiters are gonna love that.
They're gonna love it.
KKK, Heil Hitler, we did some stuff. They're gonna play this. Oh, he was a racist. He was a racist. But I still want to make it very clear because he did. This is the reason why this stuff isn't usually let in the court, because people have the tendency to say, "Oh, he did that bad thing back then. So that means he did this bad thing now." That's not the case. So again, and let's not forget too, this is years ago when this guy was 17. So we're talking about when he was 13, 14 years old, when these things were done. Same thing with Carmelo Anthony.
Instances of Austin using racial slurs in school. And
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not going to lose any sleep because please keep in mind, you don't have evidence of him actually putting somebody's head to bed. Is there somebody who's in a grave because of Austin or Hunter Metcalf? Let me know. Email management, let me know, because that's what matters. Now, if you can say, oh, we got a propensity. But also, let's keep in mind, the video evidence doesn't support that there was any confrontation between those two. So that whole fight under the tent narrative, we already know that went out the window. All right, let's get done, Jason. Let's go.
In 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest.
He was arrested in elementary school. Woo. This background for Austin Metcalf is not helpful. It's not helpful at all.
During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 reveal that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth.
So I'm going to say it. All right, so we got a kid, racial slurs, beating up girls, doing all this crazy stuff, right? This guy's a teen. This is a wild boy. So now we're getting some, he's aggressive. Now, if the defense put this up, this would have maybe been like, this guy who we're talking about, it was pretty aggressive, right? This guy's pretty aggressive. And
so what do y'all think? Like, for real, what would you have changed your position had you known these things about Austin Metcalf during the trial? When we watched the trial, would you have changed any of your position? Well, we didn't actually watch the trial, I'm sorry. But would you have changed your position on him? Would that have softened your your thoughts of him? Yay or nay, up or down? I don't think any of that would have mattered to me. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't lose any sleep over racial slurs. Not when we put it in songs. Not until, so save all that electronic pearl clutching. Save all that stuff for somebody who cares. When we put it in songs and we make it part of a vernacular and a way of speak, and somebody else says it, how do I know he wasn't singing a rap song? How do you know that? See, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. Nope. Now, again, the physical violence, okay, absolutely. That's not good by any means and measures. I just don't know if calling a teacher a B or punching a girl on the ground, if that justified stabbing him in the heart. Let me just make that correlation. I just don't want to make a big logic jump. How does him doing that and him getting stabbed in the heart go together? Make that make sense. I'll wait. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much, everybody who popped in. Let's go. All right.
Carmelo Anthony had a reason to be fearful of this guy. Look at this past stuff. He's punching his girlfriend in the stomach. But we haven't got to the other side yet, because you think this is bad. We haven't got to the other side. I've seen this already. We've got the other side is even more insane than this. This white boy is insane. But Carmelo Anthony, his stuff is even more insane. So I see why they made that deal. Right. But just imagine, with all of this that we're showing you, Carmelo Anthony was the one even more afraid to let his stuff come out. This is horrible. Now, and I will say this. If Carmelo Anthony was the sweet, gifted, preacher's kid that they were trying to make him out to be, this would have came in. And I think he would have had a better chance at his trial if it did.
In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day. But the never-before-released detail...
So that's Austin Metcalf.
Okay, so and somebody asked a question. I think that's a great question. So how would Austin's bad deeds have been in Carmelo Anthony's mind and said, well, this guy, he deserves to be put to sleep for eternity because he's done all these other bad things? How would he have known that? He wouldn't. So what are we doing? Like, again, I think the way the trial went was perfect. I'm fine with the way it went. But now, guess what? We're going to find out a whole bunch of dirt about Carmelo. And this is because y'all, the mercy of the wicked is cruel. Y'all thought you were doing something kind by doing this. And now all you're doing is dragging this man. He going to be on the negative 19th floor of the Gray Bar Hotel. Let's go.
And at last, they were told about bringing a gun to school, but that don't seem to materialize. He was suspended. He got a lot. But I got to say this, too. Some of that stuff was kind of like boys will be boys type stuff. Some of that stuff was like, yo, you kind of a little wild. But we also got to understand who we're talking about. We're talking about a teen, preteen, that type of thing. So we have to also look at it in that lens. And we're talking about all this stuff. So the incident happened when they were 17. So all this stuff happened before they were 17. So we're talking about 16, 15, 14, elementary school, for instance. So understand that in that code. So now that's some damning evidence. And I think if that came out during trial, it does make you think like, oh, this kid may have had something on his shoulder. The argument of him attacking Carmelo Anthony seems more plausible after hearing that.
But the evidence doesn't show it, though. That's the only thing. Now, if we didn't have the video evidence, maybe I could maybe be swayed if we didn't have the video evidence. The video evidence doesn't support that he attacked him. Therein is the problem. But let us continue.
But you've only heard one side of the story. Let's see the other side.
Of Anthony's early years in Louisiana up to the day of his arrest for murder are also disturbing. On the day that Carmelo Anthony would fatally stab Austin Metcalf, prosecutors say he sent this text message at 1 a.m., which said, quote, "I'm low-key on the verge," and then emphasized it. Later in the morning, on April 2nd, 2025, and hours before Anthony would kill Metcalf with a knife at a high school track meet, prosecutors say Anthony's girlfriend reported to a Centennial High School staff member that Anthony was engaging in stalking behavior, to include but not limited to driving by her home and refusing to allow her to end their relationship. Also in the...
Okay, so, he can't let an ex-girlfriend go. He said he's on the verge, But it seems like...
what, though?
I'm not sure if that on the verge message was related to him trying to hurt somebody or his thing with his girlfriend, because he was breaking up with his girlfriend at the time. So I just don't know. And that shows me, she's like, hey, he's stalking me. He won't let me go. So...
The 75-page filing, prosecutors say Anthony had previously been accused of stealing his girlfriend's phone, and in October 2024 wrote a to-do list for his girlfriend about how to deal with, quote, weirdos, which included the line, "Say some slick, like my boyfriend, kill people."
I don't know. That's kind of like a nothing thing to me. Like, okay, this stuff isn't arising to where if we stop right now, and I'm Carmelo Anthony, I'm like, yeah, put my stuff in and put his stuff in. His stuff is a lot worse than, but again, we just don't.
Yeah, shout out for sure. Hey, by the way, y'all, we got Lauren in the, we got Lauren in the building. Shout out to you, Lauren. This is a young lady that we actually looked at her video earlier about Candace, and we're actually going to look at her video today about Lindsay Clancy. Shout out. If you would like to, Lauren, you're more than welcome. I'll drop the link for you. You're welcome to hop on. I think I told you that in the message earlier today. I'll drop the link right here. You're more than welcome. I'd love to have you come on, and we can. I'm gonna finish up with Nate the lawyer, and then we'll look at your video. But if you're welcome, if you're available, Lauren, you're more than welcome. Okay, let's bring Nate back up in here. Nate, get back up in here, man. Let's go.
Started with this. There's a lot more to this video.
There are also text messages where he admits on at least 2 occasions to punching girls in the face.
So now we have this equal thing, right? We got Metcalf, who the one girl he punched in the stomach and was suspended. This guy, he's saying he's punching girls in the face. So now we have 2 people who seem to have aggressive tendencies here.
Prosecutors also found text messages from 2021 between Anthony and another student about robbing someone.
2021. So we're in 2026 right now, and he's 19. So we're talking, what, he was like 14? I know mathing is hard, but this dude is a kid. Okay.
Of $300. There were also text messages.
Robbing somebody for $300. That's not good. So now you got so the other kids when they're 13, 14, they spray painting Heil Hitler and KKK stuff like that, hating black people. This guy is robbing people and punching girls in the face. So neither one of these young men are the pillars of the community as we were led to believe. It seems like from their text messages and background reports.
Where Anthony talks about a fight and punching someone so hard he had to stop fighting. In 2023, prosecutors say Anthony told a friend he was going to vandalize someone's house in Austin, saying, quote, "I just feel like it. I got a grudge." In 2021, Anthony told a friend he had been suspended from school for 3 days for fighting, saying, quote, "They said next time I do some, I get recommended for expulsion." In a text conversation.
So he's getting recommended for expulsion. He's doing a lot of fighting. These were two very aggressive kids who just came together at the wrong time.
With a friend in 2023, prosecutors have messages from Anthony where he wrote, "I'm gonna shoot the school up tomorrow."
Wow.
He's a low-key school shooter now.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's pictures of him posing with weapons. So that's not only a threat, a typed out threat. There's actual evidence that he's with guns. So, I mean, this could be bad for real.
But the other kid said he's going to bring a gun to school, but he didn't say he was going to shoot the school up. So now that it was like this,
Austin,
right? It was like
Hunter with weapons.
Metcalf and Anthony was down here, and it was creeping. Now I think we're about here now. Now we're like, this is not looking good. I'm gonna shoot the school up tomorrow. That's not a good look.
With my blick, but later sends messages saying I would never actually do that.
So he'll never.
In a 2024 text thread, prosecutors say Anthony admitted to carrying a firearm, telling a friend before a party that he would have the gun in my pocket. There are other message threads where Anthony also mentions.
Here we go.
They got him. Now remember, this is a teenager.
Yeah.
Teenager. He's holding the gun. He's taking guns to parties and stuff. This is an adult. We're not talking about an adult. We're talking about a teenager. We're talking about somebody who's less than 17 years of age. And these are the pictures he's taking.
Yeah.
Carrying a gun. After numerous suspensions for fighting while attending.
Numerous suspensions for fighting. Again, and the reason why I keep stopping it and bringing you guys back to it, because remember, we're trying to figure out who was the aggressor, who was the initial aggressor or that type of thing, or what caused this. And it seems like both of these kids had chips on their shoulders, but Anthony, he seems like he's had his chips were a lot worse than Austin Metcalf's chips.
His chips
attending school in Louisiana. There are messages between Anthony and his girlfriend after he moved to Frisco. In one message thread, she suggests he should sit for a while, and he replied, "Yeah, and punch people, maybe run sometimes. I have to. It's like a priority for me. I like punching people."
Yeah, I'm at the point now where if I'm the defense attorney, I'm like, yeah, we don't want any of this stuff in. We don't want none of our stuff in. Let's not say nothing about the Metcalf, and we don't want them to say anything because this stuff is starting to get really, really crazy.
When I get mad, I see red. When I get mad, I black out. When I get mad, I can't control myself.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like murder to me, right?
Yeah, it does.
I get so mad, I black out. I can't control myself. Well, that's what he was convicted of, right? He got so mad, I can't control myself. I stabbed the kid.
Yikes.
This is like a confession if I'm on the jury. So I see right now, Metcalf's original defense team was smart not letting this crap in.
Prosecutors also produced messages.
Shout out to Lauren. Lauren, if you're in the chat, here's the link. I dropped it in the chat. You're more than welcome to click the link and come on and join me. All right. Yeah, this is
Anthony
bad.
admits to getting high and drinking alcohol and even talking about selling drugs to get guns. In 2024,
selling drugs to get guns. So we got some serious crime. We got drug trafficking. We got firearm trafficking. This beating up girls. Armed robberies.
Student of the year.
This is crazy.
He's student of the month, man. He's student of the month.
And people were making. I thought Carmelo. They were talking about how great GPA is. He's honor roll. He's this. This
he
guy's
saved
a
the lady
walking
from the
felony
pool
right now.
What are we doing?
Prosecutors say Anthony even attempted to assault a teacher, saying, "I put my hands and face and everything." Also in 2024.
tried to assault a teacher.
Man, come on, man. Teacher lives matter, man.
Assaulting other students isn't a problem. Matter of fact, he was doing it so much, they suspended him a whole bunch of times. Yeah.
Or messages obtained by prosecutors suggest Anthony tried to bring a weapon into the State Fair of Texas.
This guy,
it was a menace.
It doesn't seem like Anthony was going to stay in prison too long. This guy was a menace. Wow. I thought Metcalf was bad.
Right.
But Anthony is like at another level here.
Asking a friend if the State Fair got metal detectors. When he was told yes, his friend responded, "You got the poker?" "Yeah, I might have to toss it," replied Anthony. Prosecutors say Anthony admitted to stealing a watch and earbuds in separate burglaries in Collin County.
We got to put a felony counter up here, right?
Right.
Robbery
felony count is crazy.
Guns in schools felony. Like, he got so many felonies out here, right? Now we got multiple burglary felonies. What the hell? Like, I thought Austin Metcalf was bad, but he's got a couple of issues too, right? But these felonies, he got multiple. He's admitting to multiple first-degree felonies in text messages.
Just tap out.
Wow. He's the statute of limitations. Well, he may have been too young to even be prosecuted for this, but these are multiple felonies, people.
And also to bringing a weapon onto a Frisco school campus, saying this about his girlfriend. "She went in my bag to get my computer, and I said no, and she still went in it and grabbed it, and my gun and my knife and some other stuff fell out."
He's bringing a gun.
And a knife.
And a knife to school.
And this was on...
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserved it.
I'm going to tell you guys this right now.
Tell us, Nate.
It was right. This kid got 35 years in prison.
I
thought
told
when
you where
I
he
saw
need
the
to be.
Austin Metcalf stuff after seeing that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe this guy's got to.
Where
But
he
now
need to
after
be.
seeing this kid, he's a walking felony case. Austin Metcalf is no saint at all, by any means, right? He was doing his craziness too. But this, like I told you, this is at another level.
There are numerous unreleased photos and videos of Anthony holding firearms and making threats, and authorities found a note.
Look at this.
Like, where's the parents
Look at this.
Where's his parents at?
Where your mom and daddy at,
Right.
man? What
Right.
you doing?
This kid is a thug. I don't know. I feel bad because you just don't know how much you're misled by the media. They misled us about Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
This kid, just from what we've heard, it sounds like he has credibly been accused of committing multiple high-level felonies with weapons, without weapons, robberies, burglaries, you name it, he's done it. And a murder. He just was checking off the what's next, murders on the list. This is pretty insane stuff.
Note on Anthony's phone with a long list of disturbing racial tropes and slurs about blacks, whites, and Hispanics.
So he hates white people.
Student of the month, man. He's student of the month.
The other guy says he hates black people. So you got somebody who hates white people, Mexicans, and looks like black people too. And the other kid saying I hate black people, and they meet.
Like Pokemon.
And there's a bomb that blows up. We got to come together, people. This is insane.
In one message thread, prosecutors say Anthony wrote, "I hate gay people."
Anthony hates gays, whites, Mexicans,
and that was on May 1st, 2021. So that means that was right after the pandemic. We're still in the middle of the pandemic some places. So that was what? So he's about, if he's 19 now, so he's like 14 years old. Like everybody catches strays. This dude, okay, but they out there crashing out for this guy. Okay.
The issue with black people too. The other kid just hates black people, which is bad enough. But Anthony said, "Well, hold my beer. I hate everybody. Blacks, gays, you name it. I hate them."
Wow. Hate them all.
Prosecutors say Anthony repeatedly.
There's more.
But wait,
threatened to murder his girlfriend in text messages.
Come on.
He's threatening to murder his girlfriend now.
I know that dad glad that boy gone.
To murder his girlfriend.
That dad is glad that boy is away from his daughter. I'm telling you.
How many bullets you want coming out of your chest? And this is a guy who's armed all the time. This is not a threat you just like not take serious, right? Guns is dropping out his bag, guns and knives, and we in school.
Come on, Nate.
And I'm his girlfriend. He talking about how many bullets I want in my chest.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Some of them saying, how many bullets you want coming out of your chest, and I'm going to get you expletive.
No, that says I'm going to beat you.
Yeah,
I'm going to beat you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to beat you.
I ain't going to get you,
That's
sucker.
what
I'm
that
going to
says.
beat
He
you.
misread that. We caught that.
He also threatened her with a knife in one message and told her in another, when I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade.
That's going to have to be the thumbnail for this. I want you to see that. Like that. Hold on. Let me grab my screenshot. Y'all know my screenshot game is pretty solid. I get some good screenshots. I'm going to have to make that the thumbnail because I really want y'all to realize y'all crashing out for this guy. Y'all out here protesting. Give me the big screen. Y'all out here crashing out in the year of our Lord, using your free will to protest for somebody that said, when I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade. Y'all the reason why we can't have nice things. Y'all the reasons. Whoever out here crashing out for Carmelo Anthony, that's exactly why aliens won't talk to us. Because they look at us and say, y'all too stupid. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all, this is just dumb. You just cannot make this stuff up. What do you say? It's the reason why they call it demon time. I mean, come on. Goodness gracious alive. So I just want to say, can you imagine if we had heard this stuff back whenever the trial was going on? What was that? May or whenever it was. Can you imagine if we heard this? This is crazy. And people crashing out for him. Y'all make it make sense. There she goes. A biblical worldview is in the building. What's going on, friend? We can't have nice things. We can't because we misuse them, and that's the problem. That's why Luther said we're in the bondage of the will. We can't choose right. We can't choose right because we're broken. We cannot choose right. We use our free will to do dumb stuff like this. My name is Jason. Email management, jwitt@jwitt.com. I still don't care. Let's go. Nate, what we got, brother?
Wow. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, tap
So,
out.
I'm
tap
going
out.
to say it. I'm going to say it.
Say it, man. Say it.
If I was a defense attorney for Carmelo Anthony,
I'd say
I'm not letting none of that come in. His package of stuff is so damning that I think he would have gotten more time in prison.
Amen. Amen.
Because don't forget, he could have said, hey, look how bad the white boy is. Look how bad Metcalf is.
Yeah, but he's not here.
But Metcalf's, the prosecutor said, okay, well, let's look how bad you are.
Yep. He toes up, man.
Carmelo Anthony was a walk-in felony.
A walk-in felony. It's
And
crazy.
again, this was before he was 17 at the stabbing. So
Yeah.
all this came before that.
Yeah.
16, 14, 15. He's doing all this, taking guns
He's
to
a
school,
menace.
robbing people. Like, it's crazy, the amount of stuff he's threatening to kill and stab his girlfriend and threatening to shoot her up and all this other stuff. Trying to take guns into state fairs. His parents failed him. And all that stuff about him being some good, honest captain of the football team, captain this, captain this, captain this.
He's the captain of the criminals.
It's all bull. This was a thug.
He's the captain of the criminals.
To be fair, too, we were sold a whole bunch of lies about the Metcalfs, too. Let's not pretend. We were sold a whole bunch of lies. But the lies for Carmelo Anthony, they sold us a boat full of lies, right? Where one is a truck full of lies. They said, no, we're going to go up. We're going to send you a boat.
It's gonna be a cruise ship of
Everything
lies.
bad that Metcalf did, Carmelo Anthony did, plus on top of that, more stuff. So, I don't know. Let me know how you feel in the comment section. The question I would like to ask you guys, if you were Carmelo Anthony's attorneys,
I would
you
quit.
know that you
Take
can
the
bring
money
this
and
stuff
run.
up. You can say, look at Metcalf's record. But they're going to be able to bring your stuff up.
Ooh, goodness.
Would you take that chance? Would you allow your stuff to come in? And would that help you during the trial? I think this would actually hurt Carmelo
It's gonna
Anthony. I
trash
think the
him.
judge in the new trial looking at this would say it was actually a good thing. They weren't able to bring out the bad stuff on Carmelo Anthony.
now it's out.
Because when you compare them, you're really looking at Carmelo Anthony being, it's just too prejudicial against Carmelo Anthony. It's just too much. That's what I think. But let me know how you feel in the comment section. Don't forget, like, subscribe to all of your YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer. Peace.
Shout out, y'all. Shout out. And I think we need to also factor in, even though you might feel some kind of way about it, please remember Carmelo Anthony killed Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf can't come here and argue about why he was spray painting KKK signs or why he was in therapy for raging out. He doesn't. I mean, he's not going to be here. Why? Because Carmelo killed him. Remember that. That's the part you can't get. You're not going to beat those charges, and he ain't going to beat these charges either. I don't even know what the purpose of this is. Now that we know this damning stuff about him, bro, you might as well. Carmelo probably telling him, he's trying to call them from the jail phone in the jail saying, man, leave me alone. I'm stuck in here. I'm in here with Diddy. We just doing the thing that we doing. Like, what are you doing? Now you're going to drag that man, now you're going to drag all of Carmelo's foolishness out there in the front yard and everybody going to see his dirty draws. And guess what? He going to still be in jail. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank y'all so much. Y'all, I got to cleanse my palate. I got to cleanse my palate. That thing right there. Because the next video, shout out to Lauren Francis. We're going to be talking about Lindsey Clancy in a second. This right here, I don't know about his, let me see real quick. I don't know about Austin's past. It's not relevant. Right. It doesn't matter. I don't even understand why we're doing this. Like that part always befuddles me. When we always bring in victims' history and try to come up with these fan fiction side quests, what's the purpose of that? Isn't somebody dead? Now, if you had evidence that Austin came in there and was dragging and beating up Carmelo and Carmelo fought him off, maybe we could have a different conversation. Maybe we could have a different conversation. But at this moment, what's that matter? I'm just waiting for somebody to explain. And this is the thing I keep saying. Black people who do this, that's why they don't take us seriously. That's why other people groups look at us and think that we're a joke. That's why we're the literal boy that cried wolf. They look at us and think we're a joke. Because then you get in your feelings when somebody uses the N-word, but when I see my homie, I call him the N-word. You get all up in your feelings about a white person saying some negative pejorative, but I use the same negative pejorative when I see my wife and her friends. Like, what are you doing? We are nothing if we're not full of double standards. We have no standards if we're not double standard. There you go. That's it. It is what it is. And my name is Jason, jwitt@jwitt.com. If you got a problem, I got all night tonight, matter of fact. I do have a guest in the studio. He's not traumatized yet. I ain't traumatized him yet. But I got a guest in the studio tonight. Shout out. Never had a guest in my studio. But hey, I got all night tonight. If you got a problem with me, jwitt@jwitt.com, you can come on the stream tonight and tell me how crazy I am. I don't care. But you know what we're going to do? We are going to clean the palate. We got to clean the palate. We got to get a palate cleanse. Oh, you sent me something? I got one. I got a good one. This one, I think you'll like this one. This one is something. This is the most Atlanta thing you're going to see today. If you don't live in Atlanta, you're going to get a taste of Atlanta right here. I think this is probably the most Atlanta thing you're going to see in the chat. You know what? Tell me where y'all from real quick while I'm getting it queued up. I'm stalling. Put where you are. Where are you from in the chat? You can put your state or you can put your city and state, whatever it may be. Shout out to y'all. What's my daughter talking about? Y'all know President Firstborn absolutely loves. Oh my gosh. President Firstborn really wants me to believe that she loves me. I think she does. I think she likes me. All right. We got some Maryland. We got some Texas. Y'all, Austin, look out now. You ain't too far from there. You better watch out. Oh, California? Oh, goodness gracious. Marietta. What's going on? Wait, why are you in Marietta? What's going on? We're going to Kennesaw Mountain in the morning. We got another, look at our AT aliens is up in the building. Oh, that's going to be good. Yeah, I'm waiting to hear what Dennis got to say about it for sure. All right, so all right, this is a very non-serious palate cleanse just to kind of get our minds free. Okay, so this is probably the most Atlanta thing you're going to see today, I promise you.
Had so many people reaching out like, how can I get one? I'm tired of spending all this money on gas. So I'm like, okay, hold on, guys. It's still a go-kart at the end of the day. But I've definitely had a lot of people reaching out trying to beat gas prices.
Last time we spoke to Soda, he was saving gas riding around in his souped-up Barbie go-kart.
Well, $1 gets you like 15 to 50 miles or something like that.
50 to
depending on
50
your
is
weight,
crazy.
how much you're on the throttle. So I think a lot of people are interested in that.
In order to spread the joy, Sona's been selling customized versions of the car to who's ever willing to buy. This one's for a kid who wants to ride in style.
This is the Power Wheels Jeep. She wanted a pink one, so I found the pink one. It has the function.
There is nothing on this planet that screams, I am in Atlanta, more than what we're looking at right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most Atlanta thing. And the dude is talking about driving this on the street. Bruh, what is wrong with you, man? You cannot drive that on the street. You cannot. I can tell you emphatically with my whole chest, they are waiting to arrest you. They are waiting to arrest you. Unless you're close to the Atlanta Beltline or something like that, one of those kind of people mover paths, maybe you can get away with it there. If you take that thing on the sidewalk, my man, you're going down Peachtree if you want to. You and your little, I don't know if that even goes to car jail. Will that go to car jail? I don't even know. Oh my gosh, that's so Atlanta.
In trunk, has the functioning doors. Try to give her everything like Barbie has, except not the Barbie car.
That's a top speed of around 20 miles an hour. As far as if it's street legal, Sona says it all depends.
You gotta know
it
where
doesn't
you're
depend.
riding.
It's wrong.
You got to know how to ride and everything like that. Don't put these on the highway. Know the laws around your city, of course.
I just thought that was funny. I'm like, that is hilarious. And that was on our local news here, man. I'm sorry. That is the most Atlanta thing you're going to see today. All right, y'all. Oh, my gosh. Did Lauren want to come on? Let me check real quick. Did Lauren shoot me an email? She did not. Okay, I did get your palate cleanse, and we might do that at the end. Okay. So, y'all, this story about this Lindsay Clancy thing, this is very disturbing. I mean, we can laugh about certain things, but this is disturbing because these are whole bona fide grown women that are crashing out for this woman, and they are mothers. They have children that are in their care. And this is just a crazy story, y'all. This is disturbing. The Carmelo Anthony case is not much better. Let me tell the truth, shame the devil. But this is disturbing that people are honestly looking at this woman as a victim. They're looking at this woman as not one who's carried out probably the most egregious crime you can imagine, strangling your own children. Like, what is wrong with you? And so shout out to Lauren Francis. She did an excellent job dissecting this, and I just want to give her roses. This is great. So let me bring it in. If she's in the chat, I'll drop the link again. If you're in the chat, you want to jump on, Lauren, I'd be happy to have you come on and chat it up a little bit. There's the link right there for you, Lauren. But let's do, with no further ado, green hearts in the chat when you can hear. All right, let's go. This is just sad.
So I'm calling for an official ban on white liberal women thinking and feeling, just until we could sort all of this out. I'm sorry, you guys, you tried your best. It's just not working out.
No, because do you want to know why so many women are rallying behind Lindsay Clancy right now? Do you want to know why so many women and so many mothers are standing up for her right now?
You know why? I know why. Ooh, call me. Call the black guy in the back of the class. Okay, here it is. Because you're sinners and you're lost in your sins and transgressions. You're dead in your sins and transgressions. That's why. There you go. I figured it out for you. I got it solved.
Right now, because we see pieces of...
I just cannot stand this performative BS. She's trying so hard to convey passion and expression. It's just...
ourselves in her. We see the efforts
I hope
she
you don't.
made to get help. How she still tried.
She still tried.
She
Theater
tried.
kids.
But see, shout out for sure. I do believe that there's certain things, postpartum. And again, I'm not making light of it. I hope that you do not hear what I'm not saying. I'm not making light of real bona fide issues. What I am saying, however, is taking said bona fide issue, said problem, said hormonal imbalance, said postpartum, whatever, and choosing, using your own free will to put your hands around your neck or a rope around the neck of 3 defenseless, innocent children and snuffing their life out, I'm sorry. You're not going to get postpartum. You're not going to get hormonal imbalance. You are going to get demon possessed, and you need to burn in hell. That's what I'm going to say. jwitt@jwitt.com. I'm just going to say it. That's just it. Shout out to JT, the advocate in the building. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. That's crazy work. I'm sorry. There's just no other way around it. And again, and I'm going to stand up for the dad too, because I'm a dad and I got girls and I've done all the things that y'all do. And I'm sorry. No, and all the no's. I would have much rather, I'm sure her husband would have rather her had given those kids to him take them to Disney World and fly around the moon than for her to snuff their lives out. Ma'am, you are an evil, good for nothing. May God have mercy on your soul. That's it. That's just it. There ain't no way around it. So all this, we see ourselves in here. Ma'am, you need to be checked into a place with padded walls. Okay, let's go. Shout out.
Every day. How she did things like took her kids to science museums while her husband stood to the side, just kind of wondering with his hands in his pockets why he's there. And while we're talking about her husband, we saw his lackluster attempts at support and
lackluster support. Just cause for murder.
Thinking that it was enough when we all know it wasn't. And we see pieces of past partners or even current partners who treated us the same. And for me personally, I resonate so clearly with what Dr. Zeisel talked about today during court, which is when he looked at the jury and he said that Lindsay talks about her children, that she thinks about them,
how do you know
that she misses them every second of every day. And I am fairly certain that Lindsay wishes she was with her babies right now.
That is some high tier dramatic foolishness right there. No. She ended her children's lives. No, man, this is just gross. I'm sorry. Shout out to Lauren. Oh, they hit the me. I'm sorry.
I can empathize.
Look at how they just make up how she's feeling. Everything is about feelings for them. I would never have done this. And if I did, it had to be because it's not my fault in some way. And I just know that she loves her children. I just know that she's thinking about them right now. How do you know that? You don't know anything.
With that feeling. Because when my husband and I brought our baby girl home from the NICU, and I was so tired, and my husband sent me to go lay down and take a nap. And
if you didn't do that, would you have killed him?
And he, being the good dad that he is, laid our baby girl down for a nap in her crib, safely, nothing around her, in her swaddle, the full 9, baby monitor, right here. He shared a wall with her, okay? He was sitting in our living room, and her bedroom's right here. He was right there. And even though he did all the right things, I woke up in a panic, so terrified that she was...
I'm sorry, this is so dramatic. I was listening to it, but now I'm actually watching it, and it's hard to actually take this woman seriously. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. This is just dumb. And I'm sorry, the wickedness of these women to try to justify this evil, deplorable, because we should be all able to say at this point that this is evil. But lo and behold, y'all are okay with it. There are people who are caping for this woman. It's crazy work. This is going to have to be studied by science.
Was not in her bassinet next to me because I was scared she was going to stop breathing.
Is she manufacturing tears right now?
Because that's what got her into the NICU in the first place. She was born unresponsive. And my husband so lovingly looked at me and he tried to understand, and I just looked at him and I said, "You don't understand. If she dies, I won't make it." And I meant it. If you don't understand it, count yourself lucky, because far too many of us do.
We're here to send one message.
Here's the message that I want to send. Each and every one of you good for nothing, deplorable, wicked women should go home and repent. The fact that you are out here, this woman admitted to killing her own children. But y'all want, I guarantee, well, now I don't want any of you sorry good for nothings near anybody's children. I was gonna say, but y'all won't go to your school and volunteer. Y'all won't go help the kids at a crisis pregnancy. Y'all don't need to go anywhere. Y'all need to go to a quiet island in the middle of in the multiverse and may get sucked into a black hole. That's crazy work. And as Lauren started out, look, we're putting a moratorium on towels, okay? You know, we're putting a moratorium on towels. You know what towels are, that old white liberal women, elite liberals. We're putting a moratorium on them. We're putting a moratorium on them. No more of this. This is crazy work. This is crazy work. This is deplorable, especially somebody who has dads. Like dads are mad about this. Like, this is crazy. And then to sit there and think y'all, like, man, I hope every last one of y'all get inflamed hair follicles and just, The millstones are us. I'm about to buy some stock in millstones. Because good gracious alive, every last one of y'all need a millstone tied around your neck. Anybody, please put the URL for millstones are us in the chat so I can make sure I invest in those. Because we need this. We need some millstones. Our millstone stock is going up because good gracious alive. What are we doing, Jason?
Should not take tragedy for people to start paying attention to mental health.
Is that the mental health
No one's
bat
paying
signal?
attention.
Is that the mental health bat signal? Is that saying that I'm a mental retard? That's what that is, right? Is that what they're doing? Let me make a big screen. So that's the mental health. I need mental help. That's what that means. Okay, now I know. This is some crazy work. I added elite to it though too, but okay, that's it. But I also added elite to it to make it towels. But either way, we're putting a moratorium on them. Millstones indeed. Come on. Good gracious.
To mental health. Nobody is aware of this whatsoever, yet thousands of women are showing up online to say that mental health is really important. So this just happened, out of nowhere?
I believe that women deserve support, and Lindsay didn't receive the support that she deserved.
We love you. What exactly is the threshold of support that needed to be met in order to hold her accountable for strangling her 3 beautiful children in cold blood? What exactly is the support necessary that we could say, okay, she's had enough, she's got enough support, there is no excuse for this? What is that threshold? I am yet to get an answer to that question.
You, Lindsay, and we're here for you. We're here to show support and love for her.
More than 100 people demonstrated outside of Plymouth Superior.
She admitted to doing it. What are y'all supporting? What are you supporting? This is crazy, diabolical, wicked work. What are you supporting? The woman admitted to doing it. She's been caught in 4K. They looked at her Google search. What are you, y'all? I mean, this woman needs to go to jail.
Courthouse on Thursday morning for Lindsay Clancy.
Wait, does that heifer? Oh, did I say that? I didn't mean to say it. Sorry, y'all. Does that skeezer have a child with her? Hold on.
More than 100 people demonstrated outside.
There's a man right there. Y'all stretch your hands toward that man and pray that his Johnson fall off or something. This is deplorable.
Plymouth Superior.
That's a young lady right there. That's a young girl. She's not even, that's a young girl right there. And then there's a baby right there. That's a daughter, somebody's daughter. Y'all, the word hate is just not enough right here.
House on Thursday morning for Lindsay Clancy, the mother facing triple murder charges for fatally strangling her 3 young children. Her legal team is making the case of an insanity defense and says she suffered from postpartum psychosis. The tragedy has shed a spotlight on maternal mental health, and Lindsay's supporters say treatments of postpartum illnesses needs a reckoning.
Notice how they conflate the tragedy there. They call it a tragedy, trying to give credibility to the fact that we all view this as a tragedy, but let's be clear, they view this as a tragedy for Lindsay.
Correct.
Most importantly, where are all the mass people coming out for these victims? Where are the candlelight vigils for these victims during all of this? The true tragedy is that this just happened to Lindsay Clancy. It's not something she did. It's something that just happened to her.
Just jumped
her
out.
murdering her own children just happened to her. That's the way that they're phrasing this. Pay attention to it.
Goal today is to support the postpartum health of women. I have 5 children. I feel like anyone who has had kids understands that postpartum period. Lindsay Clancy was begging for help from everything we can see.
and I don't think she got it.
Professionally, it hits me, and personally, it hits me. With mental health, we've done a really bad job of recognizing that just because somebody says that they're doing okay, doesn't mean that they're doing.
What does that even mean? They keep saying that we could do a lot better with the mental health. What does that even mean? I mean, she had multiple psychiatric appointments, saw multiple psychologists. She shopped around for different medication that she herself wanted to take and switch. And she wasn't really fully forthright with all of her doctors. What exactly could we be doing a better job of? What more support did this woman need? What support do women need to not feel in their hearts like they want to kill their children?
Doing okay. I'm here supporting Lindsay because I've been through what Lindsay's going through and been failed with mental health.
She was failed. She was let down. So many women suffer from postpartum.
No, she made a choice. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Y'all, wait. Oh no. Y'all, Editor Jason just clicked on the button and closed out the window. Y'all, I'm about to fire myself. How did I do that? I clicked on the button. Y'all, what is going on here? What kind of y'all pray for me. How did I do that, man? What a rookie mistake. What a rookie mistake. I can't believe that. But I do think the battery on my mouse is going crazy. I'm gonna blame it on that. My mouse went insane. There we go. That's what happened. Here's my mouse. It went insane. There you go. I'm not responsible. My mouse went insane. Oh my gosh. Bring it back in. Let's try it again. Green hearts in the chat where you can hear everybody.
Always get help that they need.
It means a lot to me because I can feel that pain and that disparity as a mother.
What about the child?
And Clancy
though?
supporters see her lawyer, Kevin Reddington, as a crusader for postpartum health care.
Shame on you.
And Lindsay's here. Oh, it's Reddington. God bless Kevin. God bless him. We do love Kevin. Kevin is so instrumental in this process.
Talk about some parasocial
because he's given
behavior.
a voice to all these women that have had no voice for so long. We're so grateful that
They had no voice. They're yapping all over TikTok, getting tons of support. They've had a voice for a long time. I can't scroll Instagram or TikTok without coming across a woman who is talking about how nobody's talking about mental health.
somebody's hearing us. And we can shout from the rooftop that finally someone is hearing that we as women, we do need help.
You do need help.
And
you do need help. You need to put down the wine box. You need to put down the SSRIs. You need to go find Jesus. How are you with a straight face in the year of our Lord 2026 making this argumentation? That's some crazy work. That's some crazy diabolical. That's some 9-tier type of crazy diabolical work. Yes, ma'am. You do need help. Go find Jesus. Get to the foot of the cross and repent.
Support. And see, that's why we're all here. And we love you, Lindsay.
I feel that this could be like a watershed moment. This needs to, it was so tragic, but hopefully from this, we will see a huge change.
The Lindsay Clancy trial is going to be one of the most significant trials of your lifetime. We are all experiencing something completely unprecedented. Never before have we seen so many mothers and women rally behind somebody who confessed to killing her 3 children.
I agree.
And it is not because we cannot hold women accountable. Many of us
Yes, it is.
see ourselves in Lindsay.
How?
Many of us know.
For the record, I am not Lindsay Clancy. I want nothing to do with being associated with her thoughts, her feelings, and her craziness. I am not Lindsay Clancy.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add that to it. I am not Carmelo Anthony. I do not want to in any way, shape, or form be associated with anything related to Carmelo Anthony. Even if it were possible, I would kick the letter A out of his name because I don't even want the letter A that's in my name to be associated with the A that's in his name. I am not Carmelo Anthony. I'm not any thug at all. Period. There we go. Problem solved. This is insane.
That we could have been only one step away from doing some of those horrific things because we experienced significant.
This is a therapist, by the way.
Thank you, Amethyst
She
Angel.
believes that her doing horrible things is something that happens to her. That's what I say. It's like, what more help could these people possibly get? This is a licensed therapist. This is not the minority, by the way. Almost every one of these TikToks or reels that you click on, it's always like mental health coach or therapist. Could it be that therapy maybe isn't the answer? Could it be that it's actually not working?
Yeah, I like that.
Could it be that these women just feel self-important because they were able to go to school for something? I don't know.
Mental health issues after one of our children was born. And many of us know just how dark some of those thoughts get. So yeah, this is gonna be...
She just had to pause for a second because she was just remembering the time that she too was this close to killing her own children. A therapist. So women need more help, and we need to go to therapists who validate the feeling of being close to killing your children. Who they're also one step away from killing their own children. That's who we're supposed to be getting help from. These women will literally do anything to remove accountability from this woman, and they will make up any reason possible to get this woman who murdered her 3 children off the hook for murder. So I don't know what's worse. You can tell me in the comment section which of these people you think is worse. But one of these groups are the people who sympathize with Lindsay, and they feel that, well, any of us mothers could have gotten to this point. And if Lindsay had just gotten enough help, then maybe she wouldn't have murdered all 3 children. So that is to say that if women don't get the proper support they need, and we'll talk about the support that she got in a second. This is outrageous. But if they don't get the proper support they need, then we are essentially in this hostage situation. If we don't get our feelings taken care of immediately, then any one of us women could have done the same thing that Lindsay did. Has nothing to do with evidence. In fact, they will throw out evidence and make up their own evidence that isn't even there in order to support their conclusion. They have a conclusion in mind, and they want to make all of the evidence fit. And they are trying their absolute hardest because to them, the victims, the true victims, are not the 3 children that were murdered by their mother. The true victim is Lindsay Clancy. Here's one of the more vile reels that I've seen about this, and her demeanor is particularly insufferable. You'll see why in a second.
It is revolutionary because mother did and experienced the thing that is like so unthinkable, the thing that we are like is everyone's like worst nightmare. And instead of alienating her and calling her hysterical and insane,
which would be justified,
judging her, the collective of mothers who have begun the work of de-shaming themselves are seeing themselves in her and what she's going through and what happened to her. Instead of
what happened to her, she's the victim.
Shaming her, instead of sitting in terror of ourselves and shame of ourselves and projecting onto her, alienating her. Women are posting on social media what happened to her, about postpartum, about our society, about what it's like inside of the early stages of motherhood right now. Women are exposing their darkest fears and the truth about what it is, even though our whole culture tells us.
Hold on, everybody. I have to talk to you. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. Let me turn these lights down a little bit. I just got to talk to you very quickly. I need to probably get closer to the camera too, all right? But I'm a whisper. Let me know if it's annoying whispering. Let me know. I just got to talk to you real quick. I just want to make sure you know that hitting that like button is free. And you just never know what somebody's going through when they don't see that you hit that like button and don't subscribe. You just don't know. So help your favorite content creator out by hitting the like button, subscribing, and maybe leaving a comment down below. Those kind of things. We have to help content creators. We have to help them. We must. So help a brother out. I appreciate you. I should put some sappy music to it. Darn it. Okay, next time I'll do sappy music to it. Let me turn this light back on. This is crazy looking. Okay, I'm back. All right. Is that good? That's okay. Shout out to the best live chat. Y'all, I have to break it up. because this is making me angry. This is making me. I don't know how people put up with this foolishness in real time. I don't know how you're doing this. I almost want to remove the ban on using profanity, because I almost like, look, we might as well just go ahead and do it, because this is crazy. Jazz talk, absolutely. This is crazy work, man. Being the fact that, like, it boggles the mind that you're sitting here justifying a woman killing her children. You're making up all of these fan fiction excuses when hundreds of thousands of millions of babies have been born, and this has never happened. This hasn't happened. But now y'all sitting there caping for a woman who, again, you're making an excuse for somebody who's done evil. I'm sorry, I don't know how you're going to sleep at night. May none of those women sleep at night. Okay, let's get done.
It's something different. And the courage it takes for women to do that. The visual that I see is like a collective of mothers, Lindsay Clancy. See her there going through, like, just worst thing a woman could go through, and standing in front of her.
What exactly is she going through? Getting justice for murdering her children? Why are they acting like this is something that's happening to her? This is something she did deliberately.
And holding her hand, coming alongside of her. I don't feel like I ever thought I would see that. And that's the work that mothers have done in the last decade in de-shaming themselves and destigmatizing motherhood and the reality of
All right, so clearly women need to be shaming themselves a little bit more, because all of this de-shaming that's led to this ideology, it's not working. This is not a good thing. We need to shame women more.
Putting the pressure of motherhood all onto the one nervous system. And it
what does that mean?
This morning. You know, the gratitude I have for all of the women that are so courageously posting and putting themselves out there and seeing themselves in her as opposed to judging her instead. What's happening right now with
Giving birth and having children is a big life event. I've had 4 children. Absolutely adore them. By the way, children are a blessing. But I just disagree with this idea that, generally speaking, mothers aren't getting the help that they need. I just fully reject this. The fact that all of these women are holding hands and going out to the courthouse and supporting Lindsay Clancy is just proof of this. Women support other women when it comes to giving birth and raising children. I can't think of a time where I wasn't out and about and maybe I forgot wipes or something, and like, women are always so helpful. Other mothers always want to jump to help you if you missed something or you forgot something. They also will do meal trains for you when you have a baby.
Let me also just add a plug. This is another good reason to be in a good church. Our church, as bad as as many problems that they had, my wife and I had no problems with anything related to our children when they were born, from diapers to mom's night out to coming to support. We had no problems whatsoever. I will give them credit for that, give them their flowers. I think this is a great indication of why you should be in a good church, and that for moms and dads. But I'm just here to pick fights.
And there is no evidence that this type of community was not in place for Lindsay Clancy. Lindsay Clancy had a loving husband. He was home working, partly because I think of COVID. He started working from home during COVID, but also she was really stressed about going back to work, and he was there for her during this time. He was doing everything that he could to take care of her. And what's being brought up a lot is this image of them, or this quick video of them at like a science museum or something. And he's looking at an exhibit, and the kids are kind of running around a little bit, and she's pushing a stroller. And then I think she's holding the hand of one of her other kids. And they take this single moment out of the entire trial, where there's lots of videos of Patrick Clancy. They take this single moment and say, see, mothers have to bear the full brunt of the mental load, and their nervous system is supposed to handle everything, and they have to take care of everything, indicating that maybe Patrick Clancy was not giving her the attention that she needed, which, first of all, that doesn't justify the murder of killing her children.
Right.
But second, he was absolutely giving her above and beyond what most dads do, honestly. If you actually watch the trial, which this seems to happen a lot with these people, all they do is follow these TikTok accounts that just zoom into things and say, isn't that weird? But if you actually watch the trial, there's tons of video of Patrick and Lindsay going on vacations. Okay, so he took his family on vacations. He's playing with the kids. She's playing with the kids. I see him carrying this big pink bag for her while he's pushing a stroller, carrying a bunch of stuff for them, walking around while she is free to kind of enjoy her children. There's so many different moments involved, and for them to just zoom in on one single moment. I mean, parents hand the kids off to each other. That's what we do as parents. Like sometimes
All the time.
my husband has the kids, sometimes I have the kids, sometimes one has two of them, sometimes I have two of them. Like there's a constant handing off responsibility to each other so that we can give each other breaks. And that's exactly.
And I'm sure if anybody in the chat wants to be honest, their spouse, love them or not, probably did the exact same thing. I love hanging out with my kids. I would take mine all the time. So such that my wife thinks I hang out with them more than I hang out with her sometimes. But absolutely. Like, and let's look at the contrast. I'm sure that husband would much rather have his children and him being inconvenienced at work than not have his children and be slandered all over social media and his face plastered all over the news because his wife killed his kids. That's crazy work. Make it make sense.
What you see happening in the trial. And so for them to zoom in on that single moment where maybe Patrick Clancy didn't have all the kids at a second is ridiculous. On top of that, this guy called her parents when she was struggling. He supported her through all of her psych visits. He supported her with her ideas of wanting to take certain medications, which she actually lied about, by the way. She goes to him and says, I think I'm going to take Zoloft. So she's already researching medications that she could take to make herself feel better. And she suggests to him, I'm going to take Zoloft. I think it's pretty easy to get. She actually already had it at that time. But he supported all of the help that she was getting outside of the home and also provided a ton of support. I mean, this guy even hired a 12-hour-a-week nanny for her. Like, how many, do you have a 12-hour-a-week nanny? I have 4 children. I've never had a nanny. He would hold the baby while he was at work if she needed to get things done. These are all things that
Shout
were
out if you
testified
got a
to inside the
12-hour nanny.
trial.
Shout out. I know y'all got them. I know y'all got them in the chat. Go ahead and put nanny in the chat. Y'all going to put nanny in the chat. I don't think that's the case by a mile. Again, like, and then to drag this man and say all these bad things about him. Yeah, that's kind of wild. I'm over here. Look, I'm the nanny. Never had a nanny. All right, let's get done. Stay focused, Jason. Stay focused.
And, you know, you could say you don't believe those things just because this happened, but lots of evidence shows that he was a pretty supportive husband. It's so clear to me that the women who are saying that he just wasn't supportive enough are just projecting what they believe are their own experiences onto this case. And honestly, what I think this really proves is that all of these broads who go on social media and complain about their husband incessantly, he's so stupid, he doesn't take the trash out enough, he's so insensitive to me and my needs. Most of these people are just completely lying. Because if Patrick Clancy was not a good enough husband and didn't show enough support postpartum, then literally nothing is acceptable to these women to prevent them from actually being accountable for murdering their own children. Because even at the exact time that she was strangling her own children, she had sent him out to go pick up takeout. She didn't even have to make dinner that night. She sent him out to go do her errands for her. He picked up dinner. Didn't have to make dinner that night. He was a caring dad doing things that needed to be done for the family. This is so obvious. A woman could literally be strangling her kids while dad is out going and doing errands for the mom. And these women figure out a way to blame the husband. Again, this just proves that the people who complain incessantly online about their husbands, and husbands they don't know about the mental load, and husbands don't care about anybody. It just proves that these women are liars, and they perceive things in a way that makes them the victim perpetually. It has nothing to do with reality. They deny reality. They deny evidence. It's all about, like this woman who was saying in this Instagram reel, it's all about women can't be wrong. This many women who join hands together can't be wrong. There's got to be something there. If all of these women feel this way, it's all about feelings. They don't want to believe that a woman could have taken her own children's life. And granted, that is a very difficult thing to wrap your head around. How could somebody strangle their own beautiful babies? How could somebody do this? But the fact of the matter is, they did. She may have been a great mom before, or what people would think of as a great mom. She kept schedules. She worried about her children. She showed affection with her children. She took pictures and posted them on Facebook. Well, must be a loving mother. Oh, except for the fact that she actually strangled all of her children. I think it's important to note here the difference between worldly love and biblical love. Biblical love.
Okay, let me give her a second. Hold on. Shout out to Lauren Francis. The link is down in the description. Shout out to Amethyst. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. And she says this: I pray Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has pharma ads removed from TV and printed media. I've always wondered this when I've seen these commercials, and look what she say, who actually tells their doctor what to prescribe. We should not be diagnosing ourselves. I've always thought that was super weird. I'm so glad you said that, and I hope they do get that removed, because I mean, yeah, I'm like, how is it that you're coming to your doctor saying, give me XYZ prescription? Like, that's crazy work. Because I saw it on news. I'm watching Law and Order, and I saw so many episodes of Law and Order, and now I want this SSRI or whatever. Woo, shout out for sure. Let's go.
Biblical love does not require feelings. Worldly love requires nothing other than feelings. And so the world may look at this and say, this was a loving mother. What happened? But somebody who believes in biblical love, which is God's love, and that's where love originates from. God is the source of love. Love is actually willing the good of another. It's not simply having affection for your children. So I don't care what she did in her past. I don't care how she acted. It's odd that somebody could do all this and end up hurting their children. But to say that Lindsay Clancy loves her children becomes completely untrue because she has strangled all three of them. She notes, like, in a lot of her diaries and a lot of her writings, that she had a particularly hard time with Dawson. And it's so disgusting because she actually removed him from the other two kids when she strangled him. And it was noted that his death was probably the most brutal out of all of them. And this is where I think that we should discuss the argument of insanity, because personally, I think it's just ridiculous that it's even possible to argue insanity for being responsible for a murder. Only people can be responsible for things. You cannot blame this on drugs. You cannot blame this on postpartum psychosis or postpartum depression. I don't care how bad it is. The question is, did Lindsay Clancy deliberately kill her own children? And I think what a lot of people are missing here is they have this idea. Maybe they watch a lot of movies. Maybe they watch a lot of CSI, whatever. But they have this idea that it is possible for a human being to actually lose their free will because of some psychosis that's happening. And basically, they're not in control of their own body anymore, or they're not able to make moral decisions anymore. Well, I have 2 points to make about this. The first one is the law is not there to judge a person's heart. That is not what the law is in the business to do. The law is in the business of judging crime. Did this person deliberately take the lives of her own children? The answer that everybody is arguing in this hearing is yes. She deliberately took the lives of her own children. Now, the defense is arguing insanity, blaming the drugs and blaming her postpartum, not being treated well enough, and that is what ultimately led to this. But he said something specific in his opening statement that I want to hone in on. And he said that she cannot be held criminally responsible because she didn't have the ability to make moral decisions in that moment. So I want to backtrack you to exactly what happened during this murder. She actually did Google searches, searching the route from the CVS to the 3B. She was looking how long it took to make it to each of these places and back. These are places that they have frequented before. This is not like a new place where she had to search on Google Maps and figure out how to get there. Patrick Clancy testified that he knew exactly how to get there. These are not new places. She was solely looking this up to see how long she had to kill the children. She calls him in the middle of him doing these errands, and she clarifies the medication that she wants him to grab. So this woman planned for her husband to be gone, looked at the route, and made sure that he was gone before she committed these murders. Why wouldn't she have just wanted him to see what she was doing if she was incapable of knowing right and wrong? Why did she need to get him out of the house in order to commit these murders?
Come on.
If you're arguing that she had no moral culpability because she was under this spell, I guess, where she couldn't decipher right from wrong, why did she plan to get her husband out of the house so she could do it? Why didn't she just let him watch?
Right.
If somebody is truly just completely nuts and unable to distinguish right from wrong, which even if this is the case, this woman needs a death penalty. I don't care what she thought. She's guilty of this. But if it is the case that just something comes over her and she's unable to think coherently and unable to make moral decisions, then why did she want him not looking while she did it? That is obviously an indicator that she knew exactly what she was doing. The problem is now she regrets it. So what we have here is the same type of situation where a woman in college like gets super drunk. She has sex with some guy in a fraternity. And then the next day she regrets it, and now she claims it was rape because she was so drunk, and she doesn't really like what happened now. She feels achy about it, so now she has to blame him for raping and taking advantage of her. It's kind of the same situation that we have now. She regrets killing her children. She doesn't want them dead. She wishes they were back. And for, like I was talking about, the worldly love people, that means that she actually loves her children.
No, she doesn't.
It doesn't.
She hated them.
But this to them makes them feel like she actually couldn't have done this, or she actually was not fully criminally responsible.
No,
she
she was.
must have been out of her mind and unable to make moral decisions. Well, first of all, even if she was out of her mind, as I explained before, that's not what the law is supposed to determine. The law is supposed to determine, did this person deliberately take the lives of her children? It doesn't matter what her heart was thinking or whether she thought it was moral or whether she didn't think it was moral. It doesn't really matter. And I just have to point out here that the Bible says that the heart is unknowable. It is not the business of the law to know the heart.
Yes.
It is a business of the law to punish crime. And a crime was committed, and 3 beautiful children are victims. Lindsay Clancy is not. But again, this woman was coherent when he left for the store. He was coherent when she talked to him in the middle of murdering her children. She was coherent when she was looking up how to get him out of the house so that she could commit this crime. This woman knew exactly what she was doing in those moments. And just because she regrets it now and she's really sad now and you see her crying and sobbing in the courtroom now, does not mean that she did not do this willingly and intentionally. The other reason that I think that insanity, just that entire plea in general, is just absolutely ridiculous is because on some level, anybody who gets to this point of actually murdering somebody, I don't care, male, female, whoever you are, you get to the point of actually murdering somebody, you are already insane. Obviously, you have just rejected the moral standards that we all hold to, and you cannot be trusted to be in society. That's why we punish these crimes. Number one, because you are a threat to the rest of society. And number two is because crime needs to have a just punishment for it. I often wonder too, why is it that when people are experiencing psychosis or just crazy psychiatric experiences, why is it that it's always I cut myself or I injure somebody else? Why is it never that this thing came over me and it told me to go feed the poor for 16 hours? Why is it never that? It's always I cause harm to somebody or I cause harm to somebody else. Well, maybe that's because human beings are sinners, and if we ignore our conscience for long enough, God gives us over to our base desires. I also feel like I have to point out how similar the philosophy of the Lindsay supporters are to the Gentle Parents. I'm not saying that everything that Gentle Parents say or promote is terrible, but I do think it's important to look at the worldview underneath it. And they constantly say bad behavior is not a result of sin. It is simply the cause of unmet needs. This is exactly what they are.
I'm just going to add, though, these Lindsay supporters, Clancy supporters, also are very much like Antifa. I know you're upset. I know you're mad. Don't go ahead and jump on the keyboard, email management, but it's still going to be true. They sound a lot like Antifa. I'm just going to say it. My name is Jason, jwitt at jwitt.com.
Arguing for the Lindsay Clancy case. Her needs were not met. She was crying out for help. Her needs were not met, and therefore her bad behavior is just simply the result of unmet needs. And on that view, unmet needs are just needs that have to be met. And there is no crime or bad behavior that actually requires punishment. However, you just know that if this was to happen to a man, if a man was suffering from PTSD, he comes back from a war, he's suffering from PTSD, and ultimately he is so fed up with his life that he takes out his entire family and fails to take out his own life. You just know that these women would never argue that his mental health should be taken into account for this, and he was just begging for help and nobody gave him enough help that he needed. No, because when men do crime, it's just who they are. But when women do crime, it's because of an unmet need. So their entire reaction has just revealed to us what they actually believe, what they actually think the criminal justice system is for. It's for punishing men.
Shout out to Lauren Francis. Shout out to her. Fantastic content creator. I dropped her link down in the description. You're welcome to go check her out. Please go support her and let her know we appreciate what she does, because she's been crushing it. And that was just another great example. Let me real quick, I'm going to do a palate cleanse before we get ready to get up out of here. But I do want to say thank you to everybody who jumped into the best live chat on the internet, for sure. Amethyst Angel, thank you so very much. What did she say? She said this. Thank you so much for supporting. If this is true, that she was being treated for psychosis or psych, her medical team should have included social work services and separated her from the children. Can you say malpractice? That's a great question. I don't know. It sounds like there's a lot of shenanigans and hijinks going on, in my opinion. Her lawyers didn't defend her with medical history. If they proved malpractice, it would have gotten her off on insanity. But they didn't, because she wasn't compliant with the treatment plans. Shout out. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. And you are the stream sponsor. Thank you again, Amethyst Angel. Y'all put Angel in the chat and say thank you so much. Oh, she said this as well. I'll go broke to shout my testimony. Well, we will let you get a chance to do that for sure. Thank you so much, Amethyst. We really appreciate the support of the channel. Please make sure you go over, if the mods could just double check. I know down in the description of this video is Lauren Francis's video. Go over and support her, please. If the mods want to drop her link in the chat again, please make sure you go support her and just tell her thank you, because she does a great job. And I think her response to it was super on the nose, and I think we need that kind of stuff. So shout out. Thank you so much, Tina, for that. I really do appreciate it. Real quick, everybody, I know usually on Friday nights we do the body cam videos and such like that. And I do have an arrest video that I think you'll enjoy. So we'll stay tuned. But tomorrow, Saturday, for Saturday Night Live, we'll do body cam tomorrow. I just wanted to get these ones cleared out, the Carmelo Anthony case, the Lindsay Clancy case, get those cleared out. So now we can have a decent night tomorrow on Saturday. On Sunday at 9 o'clock, I'm having a couple of guests come over. We're going to do a prayer. We're going to pray for Erica Kirk. There's a couple of things that was weighed on my mind and weighed on my heart that I think we should pray for Erica Kirk and the TPUSA team. So we have Tracy Martin is going to be coming by. Natalie is coming by, and Biblical Worldview will be hopping on as well. And we're going to just pray. Not going to be a super long stream, not going to be a long prayer line or anything of that nature, but I think it's the right thing to do. So we're going to do that on Sunday evening. And of course, Monday we'll be having our Monday morning meeting. So we got a little busy weekend planned, but I do want to say thank you to everybody who tapped in with us. I'll make sure that all those streams go up this evening when I get done. But I do want to say thank you. Thank you so much for tapping in, watching the videos, subscribing, all that kind of good stuff, supporting with super chats, supporting with Buy Me a Coffee, by the way. We had a Buy Me a Coffee as well. Thank you so much for that. And it really does mean a lot. And I'm glad that you all find value in what we're doing over here. So I just want to say, again, I appreciate y'all. The goal, the plan is tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We'll do a little Saturday Night Live, have some fun. Elizabeth, thank you so very much for the very kind Buy Me a Coffee. Help your boy stay caffeinated. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. So the goal tomorrow, and we're just going to be doing some body cam, some fun body cams to tap out and all that kind of good jazz. I think it'll be great. So I do want to do this though. Let's cleanse the palate, and then we're going to get ready to bug out of here. Shout out. Oh man, I forgot who was it just sent this to me. Keith Foskey is actually a friend of the channel. He is an excellent content creator.
I'm an officer.
I love him. So check
County
this out.
Sheriff's Office, and I'm not sure.
And Keith Foskey is the guy that does a lot of denominations doing things. Denominations having a Christmas party, denominations ordering pizza, all that kind of stuff like that. So anyway, this one I thought was funny. Shout out for sure. So let's bring it back in. All right, here we go.
Hello, sir. I'm an officer with the Generic County Sheriff's Office, and I'm not sure if you know it or not, but you were driving kind of fast back there. Yes, sir, but I got a ticket last week, and it's already paid, and I believe that once paid, always paid. So I figured now I can just drive however I want. Yeah, that's not how this works. All right, sir, before we begin, can you extinguish your cigar? No, sir, I cannot. Well, can you tell me why you were driving so fast, or are you late for something? I'm actually on my way to the church to baptize a covenant child this morning. You see, a Calvinist is never late nor early. We arrive at the exact point that God decreed from the foundation of the world. It's not speeding, it's superior theology.
There we go.
You realize you're not actually allowed to drive on the median, right? Well, you know, officer, I just figured the middle way would be the safest place on the road. Well, hello, officer. Are you thirsty? Sir, step out of the car, please. Yes, sir, but I do want to ask, would you please remember to distinguish between law and gospel when you're writing my ticket? Okay. All right, sir. Sir?
Uh-oh.
Hey, dispatch. Yeah, I got another person pretending the rapture happened so that they can get out of a ticket. Yeah, he's probably hiding in the back somewhere. All right, just send me some backup and we're probably going to need a taser. Sir, I was noticing you were driving a little erratically back there. Are you under the influence of any substances right now? Actually, officer, I'm not going to lie. I did leave church today full of the Holy Ghost. So that may have caused me to drive a little crazy, but I will tell you what, right now we can pray, and we can pray against the demons of reckless driving. If you'll just let me hold your hands, I'll begin praying right now. Do you have any idea why I pulled you over? Well, actually, sir, I believe you targeted me specifically because of my race. Sir, you're whiter than I am. Yes, but I'm sure it was obvious to you that I'm actually 1/16 Native American, and you are part of the white colonizers that have been oppressing my people for the last 500 years, and therefore I consider this stop a form of systemic racism. All right, sir, I'm going to need your license and registration, please. Now, wait a minute, officer. Do you know who I am? I know you're the man who needs to give me his license and registration. Listen, I am the pastor of the largest church in this area with over 14 satellite campuses. Wait a minute, are you Pastor Chad from Action Verb Church? Hey, I'm a member there. Well, you know there's no way I could have known that, right? But hey, do you want a selfie?
Action Verb Church.
Because if you love Jesus, you're going to get a selfie with Pastor Chad. No, I still want your license and registration. Can you roll your window down, sir?
Oh no, not I'm a sovereign citizen. Hold on. I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm traveling, not driving. I do not consent to contract with you. Am I being detained? Wow. That's all the buzzwords. That's them all. Keith, you are out of control. Oh, wait, there you go.
Oh, sir, I'm an officer with the Generic County Sheriff's Office, and I'm not sure if you know it or not, but you were driving kind of fast back there. Yes, sir, but I got a ticket last week.
Shout out for sure. That was Keith Foskey, and I just texted him. He said he is glad that you all enjoyed it, and he said it's good to hear from me. So that was good. That was a good one. That was a good one. We ain't sovereign citizens. I'm trying. I love it. Y'all, thank y'all so much, everybody who tapped in. I appreciate y'all. You're right, Akila. Yes, thank you so much, Lady Copeland. You're correct. I did enjoy that. And that was good. It was, it was kind of like a body cam, sort of, kind of, but not really. I appreciate it. Y'all, thank y'all so much for tapping in tonight. I really do appreciate you. Thank you again to all of the moderators. Thank you so much to each and every one of y'all. You keep this thing moving in the right direction, getting us safely back home. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure you tip your waiters on the way out the door. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go and drop a comment. Let me know what you think. And green hearts in the chat as well. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, I will see you all, Lord willing, on tomorrow. So until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Have a great night. See you soon.
These are the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and discipline, for comprehending words of insight, and for receiving instruction in wise living, and in righteousness, justice, and equity, to impart prudence to the simple, and knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and gain instruction, and the discerning acquire wise counsel by understanding the proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake the teaching of your mother, for they are a garland of grace on your head and a pendant around your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not yield to them. If they say, come along, Sheol and all like those descending into the pit. We will find all manner of precious goods. We will fill our houses with plunder, growing in lot with us. Let us all share one purse. My son, do not walk the road with them, or set foot upon their path, for their feet run to evil, and they are swift to shed blood. How futile it is to spread the net where any bird can see it, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. Such is the fate of all who are greedy, whose unjust gain takes the lives of its possessors. Wisdom calls out in the street. She lifts her voice in the square. In the main concourse she cries aloud. At the city gate she makes her speech. How long, oh simple ones, will you love your simple ways? How long will scoffers delight in their scorn and fools hate knowledge? If you had repented at my rebuke, then surely I would have poured out my spirit on you. I would have made my words known to you, because you refused my call and no one took my outstretched hand, because you neglected all my counsel and wanted none of my correction in turn. I will mock your calamity. I will sneer when terror strikes you, when your dread comes like a storm and your destruction like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish overwhelm you, then they will call on me, but I will not answer. They will earnestly seek me, but will not find me, for they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Lord. They accepted none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. So they will eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the waywardness of the simple will slay them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell in safety, secure from the fear of evil.